Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Voice Radio. Join us every Thursday and Sunday, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Thaboxingvoice.com.
What up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Untitled live right here in Sticky Paw Studio, Las Vegas. Untitled's definitely changed. It's getting a little better, I feel like. You know what I mean? We've been having different guests, different conversations. George has been joining us.
Yeah.
And he's been bringing his...
the people have been loving George, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah? You've been getting them DMs again?
I have, yes.
Man.
So where is that guy at, man?
Yo, George, so how was Miami, bro?
Miami was muy fantástico, my friend. It was, I enjoyed all of the Cuban food that I got to eat out there. I saw more big ass per square inch than anywhere I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
We're talking about
You ever been to Atlanta?
Never been to Atlanta.
Bro, because I swear to God.
I feel like your trip was too quick, George. It's like you were here and then you were back here. It's like that was fast.
It was 4 days, wasn't it?
It was 4 days. It was very quick.
How much travel time, though? 14 hours? 7 and 7? 5 and 5?
5 and 5.
Really?
Yeah.
You found a 5-hour flight from Vegas to Miami?
Direct, my friend.
For 5 hours. It wasn't 5:50.
It was hovering right around like 5:15. The winds were good that day.
Wow.
You know, the captain came on. He said, "Hey, excuse me, all passengers. We got a tailwind heading into the southeast portion of Florida. We're gonna be expecting to get there right around 3:30 a.m. Florida time."
Everybody likes to hear that.
Yep.
Yeah, we getting there early and shit.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Yo, one time I was on a plane and they like, we're gonna get you guys there early. We're gonna crank it up to 700. I'm like, why don't you always go 700? Why are you going 5? Why do you decide when you go 7 and when you go 5? Go 7 all the fucking time, especially when you're taking me to Cali. Motherfuckers.
Bro, like, you really would be a total fucking pussy on a flight to, like, Dubai or Australia.
I'm probably not going to those flights. Look, I could have
Robert Garcia tells you, yo, I'm paying for your flight to come to Saudi for the AJ fight.
No, if he's paying, then he's going to put me in one of those I sleep in the plane seats. I'm all good.
No, he going to put you in.
No, I ain't going economy.
So if he tells you, I need you here.
If you need me in a first class flight or at least a business flight. You treat me like you need me.
Yeah, I don't know about them first class flights expensive.
First class or business, brother. I'm 6'5". Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a heavyweight in here this morning. He like, man, you're tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, fams. I can't do long distance like that. You know what I mean? Shit hurts too much. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Shout out to Devin Haney in Dubai. That's like my dream vacation. I have booked that vacation twice. Fuck you, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You booked it twice.
January of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather had just passed away, and I was in Afghanistan. And I was like, I'm literally going nuts, like no bullshit. And cause shit was like literally popping off in Afghanistan. So I'm like, yo, fuck this. I'm gonna book this vacation because I either make it back and I'm gonna go, or I don't make
TikTok
it back.
It's for dumb people. It's for people with low.
Okay. That was Sartain. That was me doing research. What do you think about that? You think TikTok's for dumb people? Because you were on TikTok a lot, so I know you have something to say. This is Untitled. It's time to say it. That was Sartain, too, so you got something to talk about with my man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to bring that up.
We're going to have him in the frying pan sauteing. Michael saute him. Nah. But yeah, so he had a guest on, and he's like, yo, TikTok's for dumb people. Because, people that are on TikTok, your attention span doesn't last past that that 30-second minute ratio. So he's like, you ain't good, you ain't built for YouTube if you a TikToker.
But he on TikTok.
Who?
Michael Sartain.
No, but we're not talking about Sartain. We're talking about Sartain's guest.
Oh, the guest was saying that. Yeah, that's cap.
His name is Jack Denmo or Denmo.
That's cap.
Let's see. Woo! He's verified. Huh?
What do you got? 300?
And he goes by the King of the North.
Oof.
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 And he says video creator.
Okay.
So I mean, he's obviously qualified to give you his opinion. He's a content creator, video creator, and he gets massive likes on his pictures. By the way, okay, this is where I'm no longer rocking with him.
What is that, man?
I don't know, man. Some shit Sticky Paws would do for sure, though, right? What do you think? What do you think, Danny? Would we walk into Sticky Paws and see this photo shoot happening? Doesn't he even look like Trav in the middle? Look at George in the Pampa.
Easy now, partner.
Yo, and that's fucking Chase.
That is Chase fucks us because he wears that on the regular. Chase
wears that shit for real, bro. But that's like Zen Travis right there.
Chill, bro.
Zen
right
Travis.
Find your peace, man.
Yo,
Center
man.
yourself.
Yo, sticky paws, man, not sticky balls. Yo, but yes, if you're just tuning in with us, for those that don't know, every single Monday we do what we call Untitled. We've been doing it for years now. And it's just an episode where me, Danny, and even George, or our guests, get to be themselves, get to talk about whatever they want. It doesn't have to be about boxing, but since this was a boxing show and that's how we started, you can most certainly talk about that. But it is that one time where we go outside the niche. See, Danny's on TikTok, man. Attention span not built for YouTube.
My bad. I was going through Michael Sartain's Instagram.
Oh, look, shots fired back at me like boom. You know what I mean?
I ain't saying it. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are.
What I'm doing.
Yes, you are. So Michael Sartain is who we're going to have on our show. He's the host of the Michael Sartain podcast. And looks like he's the founder of the Men of Action mentoring program.
Oh, yeah. You want me to... I can give you a little rundown.
Yo,
yeah,
so
man.
Yeah, because you were a teacher. This sounds like something right up your alley.
Like Trav explained it to me. I'm like, so basically what you're saying is that he's the real life Hitch.
Hitch.
You've never
No,
seen the
because
movie?
Hitch hooks people up.
Yeah, but so like he's more educational with it. Like he...
I'm talking about hooks get you the love of your life. That's what Hitch was, wasn't it? Are you talking about the movie with Will Smith?
Yeah, with Will Smith.
Yeah, he was like hooking people up that weren't.
So, all right, tell us from your point of view, George, because maybe I misunderstood.
No, I think it's more along the lines of if you're going to do it the right way. Like, there's a lot of those programs out there that try to promote mentoring men, but he hits it from the angle as like he does have access to all these insanely gorgeous females. So one of his like plays is to always try to get those kind of people to interact and be friends with and get comfortable with talking to girls that like are like the tens of the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his programs, he has like a little special plan of attack. It's not like everybody else's. I'm sure he'll go into it more once he gets here, but he has like always been on his Instagram stories showing like the group that he has with him. He goes and plays basketball with them. He goes to the club with them. So it's like a pretty dope group of guys. You know what I mean? So yeah, he could tell you more about it. He's going to go in great detail about that book right behind you there, Ness. Right there, Evolutionary Psychology.
Whoa. Should I smoke?
I thought you already did. Like,
I mean, if we're going to talk book shit, I might have to take a double dose.
Literally, like, it's just all about how we evolved from apes to now and why, like, the strong survive.
So he's a Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Dead ass.
Damn.
That book is a JRE for sure.
Well, he certainly surrounds himself with fabulous looking women.
That's facts.
Very, very, very good looking women.
Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly not Latinas. But whatever. Even though she's Latina enough for me.
Oh, look, Brooklyn.
Really?
Ain't that her?
Let me see. Screen share his.
Open up Switchercast.
Oh, you a bum. Come on, bro. You're a bum, bro. You're a bum, Danny.
All right, it's open.
Danny.
Hey, he do be liking sports though. Like, you got. I think he's emceed a couple of.
Ain't that
done ring
Brooklyn?
announcements.
No.
Yeah, he's a ring announcer. What?
Ain't that
you don't have
Brooklyn?
a screen. Oh, there she goes. Don't think I know if that is her.
All right, never mind. Disregard. Oh.
Why ain't zoom in? Zoom in, bro.
Oh, I don't know.
There's been numerous times.
Dan, they do look alike. Let me tell you something.
We're
They
good.
do.
We're good,
They do.
George.
Numerous times where I've walked in with Michael Sartain and two just gorgeous women. They're all drinking, and then I've seen two girls make out like after one of his shows, like on the table, and they recorded it and filmed it. And I just remember it was like 5 minutes after I walked in, I was like, holy fucking shit, like this is happening. CJ Sparks, if you want to look up CJ Sparks, that's who I saw making out with somebody else. I forgot who the other girl was, but
All right.
this shit be going wild.
They be getting crazy over
Look
there.
right here.
I don't know. Yours, the low blow shows were more wild, no
They
doubt.
getting crazy
Yo, look,
over
let me get
there.
a screen share, George. I fucking love this picture. Shout out to Michael Sartain for this. He said, my New Year's resolution is to host way more swimsuit competitions next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's hosting one this year.
Yep.
Gotta love it. We're good, George.
He's like hosting one this year, He's already out there doing his thing.
It's pretty dope, man. I wish I hung out with fucking smoking hot women all the time.
I thought you did.
We have to go to one of those
Not all
when
the
he's
time.
announcing at Wet Republic on Fridays. The
Wet
bikini-
Republic sounds like the best place to make a bikini contest, right?
Yes. Yes.
Get it?
But yeah, no, he's gonna like just ask when they are, and he'll be like, "Dude, come on Fridays. I could get you guys in for sure."
Like, this is gonna be so fun for me because although he was an officer, I'm still curious to see how that transition was out of the military for him. Like, cause yeah, I definitely caught a lot of shit for what I'm doing.
Everybody's story is like insane. Or do you think he's gonna catch flack for like now, like the
No,
work that he's in now with all these women?
A lot of people have a hard time transitioning, bro. Like, a lot of people get stuck in a mentality that the real world is like what the military is. Like, they think that's how like the real world operates. And when they get out, bro, they don't know what to do. Like, so just curious to have that conversation with them.
So, Danny, did you hear this news of, let me get a screen share here, Adrian Peterson, Thaboxingvoice, Bell? Who are these?
Oh, Le'Veon Bell, yeah.
Who are these people?
Both running backs. It's funny that they
What's
would
up with these guys,
It's
bro?
funny that they would choose those pictures because Adrian Peterson historically made a name for himself in Minnesota and Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. But yeah, Le'Veon Bell he's fought already.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
Verse?
he was on one of Logan's cards, if I'm not.
Did he get
let me
a
see.
win?
Let me see.
Is he any good?
Let me see.
Is it was it one of those things where it's just an exhibition and it's not on a box rec? Like, what's up?
Pretty sure he's fought.
Okay.
Oh shit, Nick
What?
Young is fighting Blueface on that card as well.
Who's Nick Young?
Former basketball player.
Swaggy P.
And Iggy Azalea's baby daddy, right?
What?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was my boo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really.
I know. It was his boo. I was just in love from afar.
From afar.
Very far.
Yo, that's gonna be the same card that Fight Star Zone Summer Lynn will be fighting on.
What?
Yep. Pretty loaded card.
Loaded.
Main event: Austin McBroom and Anderson Gibb.
Hmm.
That's like a total mismatch. Nuss. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Who? Austin McBoom and who? And Gibb?
Yeah.
I never seen McBoom, bro. I did see
Gibb
get beat up on. So
yeah, but like McBroom is so much bigger.
I mean, obviously Gibb want that check. You want that check.
It looks like our guest may be here.
What? So
Damn. That's an interesting card. July 30th.
So you planning on this Houston trip? You talking Houston?
Right, Houston, Texas.
You saying 8 days?
No. That was just like the max.
Oh, that was the window.
Yeah.
You
So
left that
Saturday to Sunday of the following week. Wow, what you thinking?
Nah, I'm just,
Okay.
Oh, okay. Looks like we got our guest in the green room.
Mr. Michael Sartain.
Let's go. Bring him in.
All right. How you
How
doing,
are you, man?
brother?
Thank you for joining
Right.
us.
Awesome. Beautiful. How's it going? All right. What's going on, guys? Man, you guys have a professional setup, man.
Yeah, right.
I feel insecure right now.
Professional. I got tissue over here.
We
I know. No sponsorship for that. Actually,
we did get it from Sartain, so shout out to them.
Yes. Junior. Those guys over there.
the radio voice. You hear that? Damn, puts my voice to shame. Yes, Junior. Those guys over there. I love it. Fuck. Yo, so we were stalking your Instagram there, just going through all the pictures, man. You know a lot of lovely ladies.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of these weird things, man. I used to manage a nightclub and then a strip club when I was in college. And then
Here in Vegas?
No, in Austin.
Okay.
And it's in the strip club's gone now. I mean, the money laundering or something. I don't know what happened when I joined the military. And when I was in the military, I was doing all the promotion ceremonies. And then I was an MC at a nightclub while I was in the military. And then when I got out, I just accidentally somehow ended up hosting the bikini competition at rehab. And then from there,
Accidentally.
What nightclub were you emceeing at?
right now I'm at
No, when you were in the military.
there's a place called Purgatory in Dallas. So I was stationed in San Antonio, and I would go up to Dallas to Purgatory, and then there was a spot in San Antonio. God, what was it called, man? If somebody remembers, the biggest hip hop club in San Antonio or in Austin back then, that's where I was. Every once in a while, I would be the MC.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, trust me.
How do your supervision take to that?
They did not take to. They didn't really know much about it.
Okay.
It was just one of these things where I would go every once in a while, and I would just be the MC for the night.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a tanker navigator. So there was a couple times we were over Iraq. We have this thing called Tanker Common, where all the tankers are on the same frequency. So one guy's in Fallujah, one guy's over Baghdad or whatever, and I would get on there and I'd be like, Cindy to the stage. Cindy. Calling Cindy to stage one. I would say that.
Right,
and they'd be
right.
like, who the fuck said that? I was like, we have no idea. No idea who said that. No clue.
That's funny. That's funny. How many years were you in?
7 years and 7 days, man. Yeah, I have about 450 combat hours over Iraq and Afghanistan in a KC-135.
You got 7 days more than me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got out in January.
Yeah.
Did 7 years. Got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an ammo troop. So
Okay, nice.
anything
Yeah.
you were flying that you were shooting off, we were building and putting together.
So those 105 shells that went in the AC-130, you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the I think it's a Vulcan. I forgot which Gatling gun they put on in that thing, but we would refuel those in the air, right? And then because the AC-130 was so heavy, for those of you who don't know, there's a Lockheed Martin AC-130. It's got 4 propellers on it, and it's got these guns that come out the side. If you ever play Call of Duty, it's the gun. It's the gunship they use in Call of Duty sometimes.
Okay.
And whenever it's full of ammo, it can't fly fast enough to refuel. So it has to climb to a certain altitude, and then it pitches the nose over until it gets to 210 knots. And then we have to slow down so that we could refuel it. That's how it would work. It's called a toboggan, where we're going down as slow as we can, and they're going down as fast as they can so we can meet up and we can refuel them in the air.
So, I mean, I've seen you guys refuel, but so when you guys have that ammo, what do you guys just shoot it off? Or
No, the AC-130, they don't shoot it off. They shoot it off if they have to. So, like, just imagine, right? So the Battle of Fallujah, you would have guys on the ground, and they would be like, these are the places we need. And we weren't heavy into drones back in like 03 like we are now. They would be
yeah, because that's where most of my experience is in drones out here.
Yeah.
And then
So at Creech?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
at
Creech,
Creech,
yeah.
making that 62-mile one-way drive.
Jeez, man.
Because I live in Henderson now, but yeah, I was out there, and then HH60s down in the desert.
Okay.
I did about 15 months total in Afghanistan, Kandahar.
So the depleted uranium rounds that they used, is that what you guys were loading up, or everything, just all the rounds?
For what?
For the HH60, the
no,
helicopter.
HH60s was just what was it? 40 cal or
Okay.
50 cal and 50 cal and 40 mic.
Okay.
50 cal and 40 mic
Got
for the
it.
HH60s.
Yeah.
And then some chaffing flare and shit.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys had a beautiful setup.
They did.
Yeah. My first time out there, they let us take a helicopter ride around, so that was pretty dope. But yeah, no, my supervision didn't take well to this. That's why I was asking.
When you were doing this?
Yeah, they try to actually stop it because they're like, yo.
So you were active duty when you
yeah,
started this?
Yeah. So my friend Nestor here, he gave me an opportunity 2018.
Yeah.
So I was still active duty and went to mids so I can do this during the day.
Yeah.
And I was, I got into a lot of trouble. I
Yeah.
got a smart ass mouth, and they didn't like me doing this. So they're like, no, we're not approving a part time. I'm like, it's not a part time, it's an unpaid internship. And I fought that, like it was back and forth, but it was just a rough time. I think honestly, when I started this, it was kind of like a turnaround.
Yeah.
New commander. I hated my fucking commander.
I can tell you're active duty, not now. I can tell that. Yeah, you're not active duty at this point.
No. I got out in January, and my commander.
I'm still, if my commander walked in right now, and I've been out for 11 years, I would stand at attention. I'm still afraid of my commander. Yeah, for sure. If dude, Colonel Robinson came in here right now, I would stand up. Yeah.
No, my commander. I mean, he's been put up to. I don't even want to say things, but yeah, he wasn't a good person. He wasn't a good person, man, and he really gave me a hard fucking time. And
so is this an ammo commander, or is this a drone commander?
No, this was a maintenance squadron.
Maintenance squadron commander. Got it. Yeah.
Maintenance squadron.
This is a major. Yeah.
Major.
So that's one thing they do in the Air Force. The flying commanders are all lieutenant colonels, and the maintenance commanders are majors. And so that the shit rolls downhill. It's like never maintainers telling the flyers what to do. It's always the other way around.
Yeah. So he put on. So he went to a flying.
Yeah.
And we got a new commander. And honestly, at that point, I hit my first deployment. Split with my ex at the time.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was a game changer because that bitch used to call my first sergeant. She used to do all type of things, right? And they found out that, she's just making these things up because they're like, my supervisor would see it for himself anyway. But, I got a new commander, 2018, kind of turned it around. And, after that, it was kind of smooth sailing. They didn't really. I feel like a year after I started this, they kind of left me alone, and the whole time I'm like, I'm not getting paid from it, so I'm just volunteering my time to his podcast, to his YouTube channel. But towards the end, I mean, they knew what I was doing. My commander actually, like I said, got a new commander. He actually skill bridge allowed me to do skill bridge. Get out 6 months early.
Got it. So you ended up getting out. Nara Ford got Article 15'd out. She was a stripper at the Rhino, and there's a billboard when you go up to Nellis, and on the billboard was Nara fucking Ford right there. Airman first class Nara Ford, who worked in personnel, was what was right there. And the commander saw it, calls her in, and she's like, she's making 8 times as much at the Rhino as what she's making as an E3, E4, whatever she was. And then she eventually she goes to. I mean, you don't want a felony conviction, right? I mean, you don't want to get in serious trouble. Like the military can still get you in serious trouble, but she eventually gets out around the time of her exit date, and then her. Actually, I'm going to say her personal life, but the guy she was with at the time, he gets out with her also, and she's been living happily ever after. But it was really funny. Like, could you imagine being the commander and someone in your personnel squadron is this stripper on the billboard, and they said you got to quit dancing at the Rhino. She said no, and she got Article 15 for it. Yeah, it's a great story.
Okay, so at least they gave her the option to quit, because I knew a girl that she was dancing at a club as well, and the commander actually walked in.
Yeah,
he walked in, but it was awkward because he's not supposed to be there. You get what I'm saying? And So it was kind of like one of those things.
You guys are not allowed to go to strip clubs?
All right, so now this is a really interesting thing. In my service dress, I can go into a place that serves more than 50% alcohol. In my work uniform, I cannot. Right, so this is kind of where it different. So if I'm in my dress, my Class A's, or if I'm in my what's the tuxedo? I forgot what we call it.
The service booth. Basically, if you see military, like not in camouflage but dressed up in something that appears like a suit, that's what he's.
Yeah, you can go to a bar, you can go to a strip club. If you're in your camos, your ABUs, or whatever, you're not allowed to go to a place that sells more than 51% alcohol. Does that make sense? So that's essentially what's going on. It's funny because my recruiter came in his Class A's to sign me up to join the military while I was working at the strip club. So he was hanging out at the strip club, eating at the strip club while he was signing me up, man. Yeah, that kind of stuff would happen every once in a while. But when you are especially if you're an officer, you're not supposed to have a second job, right? So a girl could make a lot of money dancing. Let's say she's a nurse at like Fort Sam Houston, and then she wants to go dance, and there's strip clubs everywhere all over San Antonio, right? So she would go strip at one of those places. And in the Guard, they're not as stringent as this, and I would meet girls that were Guard nurses, medical, and would dance at strip clubs all the time in Texas. In fact, I would have to ask because I'm still an officer. Like I'm pretty sure fraternization would include me getting a table dance from a girl who's an E3.
Right,
you understand what I'm saying?
right.
When I'm an 03. So I would always ask the girls, I'm like, "Are you in the Guard?" I was like, "Are you enlisted?" And it would be shocking, especially in San Antonio, how many times girls would be enlisted there. And it was a really interesting conundrum.
Yeah, no, yeah, the military was an interesting 7 years of my life, but it was funny because I just the last 5-6 months I've been doing this full time because prior to I literally worked mids for 3.5
Isn't there
years.
the state prison up at Creech also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read about that.
That is where OJ got released from.
Yeah, that's where they're holding the guy who hit the. So a lot of people don't know this. Back in like 99, 2000, a guy hit 6 casinos here. It's not very publicized. There's a book about it, but the casinos don't like to let you know that somebody actually robbed the casino. This guy hit like 6 Brinks trucks, and got away with it because there was not enough police. There's a point where the mafia moves out of Las Vegas, and Las Vegas grows, and the police department cannot keep up with the population. This is like mid 90s. Early 2000s, and during this transition, like that this guy comes and he's a Cuban citizen, Cuban refugee, and he comes here and he starts hitting up Brinks truck. You should look at Rita. He gets away with like $600,000 before they catch him. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting story. But he's at Creech. He's locked up at Creech now, and they interview him about the robberies when he's up there.
Yeah, I mean the prison's not like actually there, but it's I would say maybe 4 miles.
Indian Springs. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not at Creech, but it's Indian Springs.
Yes.
Yeah. Maxwell Air Force Base actually is a federal prison. It's a Air Force base, and then all the upkeep is done by federal prisoners.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a few places that are like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, minimum security federal prisons a lot of times will be military bases.
Oh wow. So what was that transition like for you? Because obviously you were already in the scene while you were in, but then you get out, and what are you doing? Because you're already in the strip club scene, the nightclub scene.
Yeah.
So what'd you do when you get out?
As soon as I got out, I wanted to do nothing. Right? Like I wanted to, like honestly, there was days. I'm 33 years old. I moved back in with my mom. I was like, I didn't give a shit. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to get up. For the first couple months, I did nothing. So that was from February to like August. I just went out in Dallas every night because my family lived in Dallas. And then when then one day I realized like, hey, I'm going to move to Los Angeles. I've always wanted to live in LA. I met some people. I was taking acting classes. I wanted to go out and give it a shot. And so I essentially moved to Los Angeles, and on the way I would stop in Las Vegas, and I had a bunch of friends that lived in Las Vegas. And then it got to the point where every weekend I would spend in Las Vegas. Then I would spend every 3 or 4 days in Las Vegas. Then every day I wasn't in acting class, I'd be in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas was just, I just remember this was the probably.
But like, what were you doing? Like, because obviously.
Oh, so in 2013 I started working in finance.
Okay.
I found a job working, like managing money. And then in 2018, I got hired by a hedge fund, and I started managing. I was a quantitative analyst for a hedge fund. That's what I was doing. But that kind of work, like it ends at 1 p.m. Like after that, I have nothing else to do, right? So I was doing that from during that point, and I was making pretty good returns. And so I was like, at night I would just go out, and I tried living in LA, and I hate Los Angeles. It's just so hard to live there with the traffic. It's just miserable. And then this is what did it for me. I went to, do you guys remember Truesdale? You ever been to Truesdale? It's like right there at the border of Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. There's a nightclub there. And I remember I was sitting there.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
I was at this nightclub, and I remember my buddy, he was a promoter, and he had a table, and he had some girls with him, whatever. And right next to us, nobody knew, just brand new artist, Bruno Mars. He said, sitting at the table next to us. And I looked at the girls that were at his table, and I was like, you did all that singing and dancing for that? And I was like, ugh. And then I go to Vegas and I meet like these nobody promoters who are dating playmates. And I was like, I'm going to move to Vegas. And that was it. For me, that was all I needed to see. And I was hooked, and I've never left here since. Like the difference in Las Vegas from the top to the bottom is easy. Like if you guys came with me to LA and I was like, all right, I'm going to try to get you into some super exclusive party, it's going to be hard as shit. Here, it's not. Here, it's like everything is open to us because we live here. So that was the reason why I love living here so much. But yeah, man, I was just working in finance the whole time. And then 2 years ago.
I actually meant more so like you said you were coming at first every weekend and then every couple days. Like I'm saying, were you just coming and going out, just partying?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
When I first moved here in 2011, when I first, like my friends had a big house, like a old, the poker houses where all the poker players all live together. Mm-hmm. We got one of those houses, but we weren't playing poker there. We just a bunch of us living there, like really inexpensive, with a real nice house with a pool and all this kind of stuff. It was like 10 bedrooms. And while I was living there, what was the question? Yeah, I went out 63 days in a row. I wanted to like learn Vegas. I wanted to understand everything about the city. And so I went out all the time. I would get to every single nightclub, every single venue. I just wanted to like fully experience, not like a tourist, but like someone who lived here. And the more people recognize me, the people don't know, if you live here, they treat you really good. Like you can get comps anywhere you want. Like if like 3 or 4 girls, they'll give you free dinner. This does not happen in Los Angeles. Well, it happens a little bit in LA, but it doesn't happen in other cities. And you just get spoiled here. And the other thing that was crazy is when I lived in LA and I tried to get into spots in LA, they did not give a shit. When I lived in Vegas and I tried to get in spots in LA, everyone let me in. It was like living in Vegas was a status symbol, if that makes any sense. I was just in New York, and that's what happened. I went to New York, and all the nightclubs there are run by nightlife groups that are from Las Vegas. Tao Hakkasan, right? They're from Las Vegas. And so I would go out there and be like, hey, I work for Jason Strauss. I'm the host of the bikini competition over at Wet Republic. And they're like, oh, come on in. Like, immediately. It's not even a big deal. So yeah, that was another kind of revelation. That's why I loved living here so much. But yeah, man, I went out every night. And then 2 years ago.
No. I got to know about the 63 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that like? What were you doing? What'd you learn? What'd you learn during that time, and what was that like for you?
So what it was like was there was a industry night on Sunday, which we'd probably go to XS. Monday night we would go to Marquee. Tuesday night we would go to Butterfly, which was, guys don't remember, it's in Paris. It's not there anymore. Okay. Now we go to Omnia, right? Wednesday night we would go to Surrender, which is not there anymore. Now we call it Encore Beach Club. Thursday night we would go to Hayes. Now everybody goes to Hakkasan. And then Friday and Saturday, we'd go out to just some other spot. I went out every single night. And like, I would literally plan my whole day around going to, I would have like protein shakes, pre-workout. I would go work out at UNLV. I would go hoop, and then I'd do cardio hooping, and then I would go play a lift.
What is cardio hooping?
Well, so there's drills you do in cardio, like suicides and stuff like that. I hate cardio, but I love cardio with a basketball. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Or going out to the field and playing cardio with a football. Cardio is fun when somebody's throwing passes to you. It's not fun when you're just running miles.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, that's a trick that I do to trick myself. Is when I do my cardio, I always have a basketball or football with me. That helps so much, man. So I would do that, and then I would come home back to the place, and then we'd get ready, and then all of us would go out. And then if you're industry, if you're local, you can just get in anywhere. So we would just go out every single night for weeks, and I got to know people that I'm still friends with now. I wouldn't have the jobs that I have now if it wasn't for me, like getting to know everybody when I first moved here. Then I started working with this one group, and we started throwing an awards ceremony here in Las Vegas for like best nightclub, best cocktail server, best confetti, best whatever, right?
Oh, okay.
And when we did that, like that kind of blew up, and then it was funny because I still worked in finance. I never was paid by a nightclub, but I was always at these clubs. It was just something that I really enjoyed. It's funny. Last night I was at Zook. I was standing on stage at Zook, and I was like right there in the DJ booth, and like I don't even know who the DJ was, and I was just like, I just like being here. I don't know what it is, like meditative for me, I never get tired of it, and so I just.
Do you drink?
No, I don't drink at all. That probably helps a lot. Also,
okay.
Yeah.
Did you drink then?
No, I never did.
So you've never drank?
No, barely. Probably had my first drink when I was 35. I don't drink at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do something. You ain't in clubs 7 days a week without any help.
So I'm not in it. It's maybe 2 days a week now. But the thing for me was I wanted to network with the girls and whoever was there, and then like build the network to start throwing my own events, and that's what I did. Right. So I help with Babes in Toyland, which is a huge charity that I'm the MC for. And then the boxing one that I do, the MMA one I do is called Smash Global, where I'm the ring announcer for that. And then I'm also like the host outside for the red carpet. And then I do one called Model Citizen Fund, raise money for homeless people. And then I do another one called, and then I'm also the host of Swimsuit USA and the host of the Playboy's Summer Search. So in order for me to recruit for those things, I would have to go out every night and meet people, right? And that's what I would do. And like for me, I don't go out for 4 or 5 hours. Like a lot of people will go to a nightclub, they'll get there at 10:30 and they'll stay till 2:30 in the morning. I can't do that. I'll get up there at 1 a.m. and I'll leave it by 2 a.m. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it made it a lot easier for me. It's funny because I just did this last night. I was at Zook. I left the gym at 1. I got to Zook at 2:10 in the morning. And I left there at 3 a.m. and then came home and went to bed and then got up and got to work. It's like that was just kind of, really common for me. Living here, I mean, I figured out like that's the best way to do it is, shift your schedule to nighttime. And where that also came from was flying special ops in the Air Force. We would only fly nighttime missions. And so I just got used to getting home and going to bed at 10 a.m. Like that was a common thing, you know what I'm saying? So that was something that happened. I don't really do that anymore. I only go out maybe 2 nights a week now because I have a business. I have 2 businesses I'm running, so I don't really go out as much. But at the time, yeah, I went out like 60 days in a row.
That's crazy.
So what 2 businesses do you have?
So I have the Men of Action mentoring program right now, which is
we read about that on your bio.
Yes.
So we need more info.
Yeah. So that one right there is it's a lot of the first 4 pillars are social networking, and then it's high status networking, then it's leadership, entrepreneurship, and then mindset. Right. So it's a self-help program, but it's self-help from a lot of the leadership stuff that I learned from when I was in the military, and a lot of stuff from like Jocko Willink and stuff like that. Then there was also the function of like networking, right? So for me, one of the things I think a lot of guys get wrong, especially if you want to throw big events or if you want to like be the life of whatever social scene you're in, is you got to have a bunch of female friends. So like that was one of the things I teach these guys is having teammates that are females. And so I have these huge influencers that come out and support my events, and they help me, man. It's night and day. Like I get invited to the Playboy Mansion. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get invited to the Playboy. I'm not cool enough to get invited to the Playboy Mansion. Why? Because Crystal Hefner invites me. She's my friend. Mm-hmm. Or a situation where like Dan Bilzerian, he'll invite me to some of the Ignite parties. Well, he's not going to, I mean, he and I happen to be friends, so that's a bad example. But when I go, I try to bring 60, 70 girls with me. Well, how do I do that? I do that.
60?
Yeah, man. It's funny.
How do you show, like, how many vehicles do you need to bring?
I don't go to a party. Tonight I'm going to a party and I'm bringing 22 girls. But
when you bring, they're meeting you in their own car.
Yeah, usually like 8 or 10 will meet at my place, and then the rest of them. I don't want to be responsible for all of them. I know like some promoters here, every girl has to walk in with them. I don't care about that. Like, just as long as everybody knows I brought them or whatever. We did one. So the Maxim party I did, the last one I did, I brought 116 girls. To the last Bilzerian party, I brought 99. And then when we do the Wish Mansion parties, I would bring like 60, 70 girls, something like that. One time I brought 23 girls and I apologized. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I only brought 23 girls. And the guy who owns Wish, he was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand what you're even saying to me right now. But yeah, man, I just, to me,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I want to have those problems. Like
to me, if I bring 10 girls to your party, I'm doing you a favor. If I bring 60 girls to your party, you're doing me a favor. If that makes any sense. Like if I'm bringing 60 girls to your party, we're at the Playboy Mansion. If I'm bringing 60 girls to your party, we're at the Maxim party. If I'm bringing 60 girls to your party, we're at someplace incredible. We're at Babes in Toyland.
Right.
Because that means I'm taking you to the Met Gala. That means I'm taking you to some fucking incredible. We're on stage at Electric Daisy Carnival. That's when I'm bringing 60 girls. You're doing me a favor. If I'm bringing 10 girls, I'm doing you a favor, right? Oh, it's your birthday. I'll bring 10 girls to your birthday. That's a little different situation. And it's weird. It's also strange because I'm not a club promoter. Like I don't get paid. I've never sold a table. I don't like get paid by the clubs to bring girls. None of that stuff. So for me, it was just a situation where it was like, okay, how can I raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for animal rescue, for for troops overseas? How can I raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for homeless children, the Midnight Mission in Los Angeles? And I was like, well, what if I get Lindsay Payless and Emily Sears and these huge influencers to come, and then they tell their friends, hey, come and donate to these charities. And that's what we've done, right? Foster Friday Foundation, we raised $120,000 in one night for homeless animals in Clark County. We're just doing an auction. And I had a bunch of girls show up, and there were girls like, you know, some girls make 100, 200,000 a month on OnlyFans. They're like bidding on stuff, right? And I was joking. I was like, oh, it's that OnlyFans money. We're rescuing these animals. To me, I would just rather use that in order to, you know, the ability to get some of these huge influencers to show up in order to raise money for charity it's awesome. I'd rather live my life that way.
Okay, so what's the catch here? Because you're coming to parties with 60 women. You're not being paid. You're not selling tables or bottles.
Yeah.
So what's the catch?
Right. So for me, again, so let's just say I go and I take, so last time I took 90 girls to Bulgarian's house. He didn't pay any promoters to do this, right? But there was 3,000 women there. So I show up with 90. And then afterwards, I'll meet a bunch of other girls, and they're like, oh, they recognize me from social media, but we've never met before. And like, when you're at a party like that, like at the Playboy Mansion or on stage at the Maxim party or something like that, when you look on Instagram and you see that girl that's like, damn, like, oh my God, like you never, 9 million followers, you never think you'd meet her. When you're there, she's there. Like she's actually there. And you meet her for the first time and you're like, oh, you know, I work for this charity, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then later on when I do Babes in Toyland, I'm trying to raise money for charity. Remember those 90 girls that I got into the Ignite party? They're all immediately, of course I'll be there, Michael, right? Or my birthday party where we had 50, 60 girls show up. Of course I'll be there, Michael. Of course you help me out with all these charity events. So for me, it's like reciprocity. And then the other thing is like I'm teaching a networking business, right? So my networking business is like, how do I show my networking? You were just asking, you were pointing out like the girls you see on my Instagram. Well, that's what the networking business, that's part of what it does. It's not just networking for women, but that's the thing that people notice. Just like you see those guys on TV, on you know, the YouTube ads or the Facebook ads, and they got the Patek watch and the Lamborghini, and they're like, hey, buy my crypto product or my Bitcoin like they're doing that to kind of like be flashy. That's not what the product's about. So for me, it's like, hey, listen, I throw these events, and these events are the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life. This is part of the networking lifestyle that I've created. Do you want to be a part of this? And that's kind of like, that's our pitch, right? We get into heavy into evolutionary psychology, that book behind you by Dr. Buss. That's a big part of that's a big part of like the stuff that I teach is evolutionary psychology. And then also like social media, like how important it is. And it's getting more important. There's a really great study that just came out, like 60% of men on Tinder, I'm sorry, 10% of men on Tinder are getting 60% of the right swipes. And 43% of the women on Tinder are getting 60% of the right swipes. So there's a small group of men that are getting all the attention, and then the rest of men that are getting nothing. And you tell women this and you're like, no, that's not true. Then you take them to Walmart and you're like, okay, who's fucking these people? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't realize. Oh, I forgot about these people, right? And so they come to this realization. It's like, and it's become, that's why part of my program is basically this whole idea that like social media has made it incredibly easy for a certain group of men and unbelievably difficult for the rest of them, right? And so if you don't get on board, it's almost like Noah's Ark. Like you're the last one. Are you going to jump on? Are you going to get a TikTok? You can get an Instagram, because it doesn't matter. Like if you're a heavyweight champion, if you have an NBA championship, if you won an Academy Award, or if you have $1 billion, you don't need it. You don't need social media. You're good. You don't need it. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. If you're a famous actor, if you play point guard for the Lakers, you don't need any of this shit. But if you're a normal dude and you think that you're going to go to a venue, you're going to go to Catch in Los Angeles, or you're going to go to a venue with just a bunch of gorgeous women, and they're going to pay any attention to you, and you don't have Instagram, I'm sorry, they're going to forget you. They just are going to forget you. And so that's kind of what I teach these guys. And then they do what I'm saying, and their lives just completely change. It's like night and day, you know, the difference that happens for them.
It's funny because before you got here, Danny was saying, so he's a real life Hitch. And I'm like, no, because Hitch would hook the man up with the woman she was seeking. You're teaching the man how to be, I guess, appealing. Yeah. So, but would you say you're a variation of Hitch?
No. So the storyline of Hitch is very unrealistic, because Will Smith's character in that movie is teaching one man to be attractive to one woman, and there's a word for that. It's called stalking. It's called sexual harassment. one man, like for me, to like teaching me to be a super attractive to one woman, it's not realistic and it's creepy. Like these men were stalking these women and be like, Hitch, teach me how to get this right. The trick is you have to be attractive to all women, or just be attractive in general, and not just to women. To attractive to employers, attractive to sponsors, attractive to people who want to network with you. The thing is, for my program, it's not a dating program at all. The program is a status and networking product. The problem is, what's the thing that gets men to join the program? It's the women. Like that's always what they ask. It doesn't make any difference. Like
sex sells.
Right. If I'm teaching guys how to do Amazon storefronts, right, and I'm teaching guys how to like source material for an Amazon storefront, these guys are still trying to meet women. It doesn't make any difference who it is I'm talking to. So that is kind of like where it comes from. And so, from that standpoint, you're exactly right. Like, I would like you to be like the answer is: do I need you to be more muscular because I want you to be attractive to this type of woman who likes muscular men? No, I want you to be more muscular because you're attractive to all women when you're more muscular, right? I tell men, it's like I have one buddy of mine or one of my clients, and he's always like, "How do I get these free dinners like you get with the comps? And like, what do I do when these women want to ask for me to pay for stuff?" And I'm like, "Bro, you need to stop asking these questions. You need to make more money." Like, you need to stop asking questions on how to not spend money. You need to learn to make more money. I don't want you to make more money to be attractive to gold diggers. I want you to make more money to be more attractive, period. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of stuff that I teach these guys. I want you to work on your speaking voice, not so that you can be attractive to women who like your voice, but so you can be more attractive, period. Not just to women, also in job interviews, when you're doing podcasts, whatever, like there's just these functional things that you can learn. And so that's what I teach these guys. But you're right. It is the girls that get them in the door. 100%, not 100%, but like 80% of the time that is what it is. But like, that's part of, we call it the dessert. And do you guys remember that? Go ahead.
What's the package though? So wait, so a guy just stumbles on your Instagram and he's like, man, this fucking guy's always with hot girls. And just DMs you? Like, how does this work?
It's a funnel. No, you would go to the website, moamentoring.com, and then on there's a 7-minute VSL. And if you like what you see, keep scrolling. If you don't like what you see, don't. I really don't try to pressure people to join because it's a lot of commitment, and I treat it like a boot camp. I do yell at my clients a lot. My clients do cry sometimes. I tell them extremely uncomfortable things about themselves. I'm like, I'll have clients that are like morbidly overweight and they're sitting there talking about, and I was talking to this girl and I'm like, bro, what do you want me to tell you here? Like, I can't, like, this is like, you would have a chance. Why aren't you in the gym with me? And I have one of my buddies, like, he's really overweight and he's like, we're hooping all the time. And I'm like, let's get in shape, man. Come on, let's get in shape. Like, he's like, oh man, but I get these girls and I'm not in shape. Like, then how much better would it be if you were in shape? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that I tell them. And then sometimes I'll have clients that'll hit me up and it'll be like, well, I'm a short Asian dude. Is that going to be a hindrance for me? And I'm be like, yeah, it is. I'm not going to fucking lie to you. Other people will lie to you. I will never lie to you. So let's go over the ways that we can handle this, right? Let's go against stereotype. You understand what I'm saying? That's, just stuff like that I like to do. And then people being able to be conversationalists, right? So I try to get my guys to read 20, 30 books a year, like, and be able to have conversations on any possible topic. And when you do that, you end up with people that are more interesting and better shape. Like, you would just rather network with these people, right? In their mind, they're like, oh, I came here for the girls, but that's not how I want them to leave. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that you come, the same thing happens when you join the military. You join the military because you wanted to look good in that uniform. You wanted the girls back home to be proud. You wanted the family to be proud of you, and the girls back home when you come back home, for Thanksgiving in uniform to like, oh man, look at him, look at how he looks, right? The reality is, when you're in there, it's a study of leadership. You're like, you right now could probably way better at being able to detect a good leader from a bad leader.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A good leader will be direct. A bad leader will be passive aggressive. He'll pass the buck. And so those kind of lessons, you see, those are lost, right? These guys came and they're like trying to meet girls. And I'm like, yeah, but when you talk shit about your friends behind their back, you act like a bitch. Like, how am I supposed, what do you think girls are going to want to talk to you? Of course they're not. And they don't equate the two. They think that these two things have nothing to do with each other. When I talk to you, you can't look me in the eye, and you mumble when you talk, and then you're just like, oh yeah, what does that have to do, bro? I'm trying to get girls. And I'm like, yeah, that's the reason they're not talking to you, bro. Like, but they don't get it. And so that's the thing. It's the total man, right? It's not Hitch teaching you the technique to get the one girl. It's the total man who's just attractive to all people. in general. Like that's the ultimate
So
goal.
this
MLA.
is an online course. You
Yeah.
meet people. How does this work?
It's funny. What's today? Today is Monday. So Monday I usually do a 4 o'clock. I do a 4 o'clock call. That one's free. I do it every other Monday, and I have a bunch of girls come on. So there's like 7 or 8 girls, and the guys will ask them straight up questions, either dating questions or these girls are big models, so they'll be like, hey. So a lot of my clients are photographers too, and so we'll do a Monday call that's free. On Tuesday it's the MOA, the regular MOA guys. We go until every question is answered. These are all on Zoom and they're all recorded. So the great example. If you were to buy the course, you would get MOA, Men of Action. It's 50 modules long, so it's about 12 hours long. And in between every 4 modules is a question and answer session where I go over each one of the modules, like a teacher's assistant might do in a college course. I treat it like a master's course. The Q&A sessions are 3 to 4 hours long. And so altogether, then there's also MOA Advanced, and that's got 64 modules in it. So altogether, it's about 900 hours of content. It's madness. Like guys are in my program for over a year, still going through all the content that we give them. On top of that is my podcast. My podcast, the guest.
A year and I ain't get a girl yet.
No, you got a girl.
What the fuck?
How fucked up would that be? How fucked up would that be? No, usually, no. The massive changes usually happen the first 30, 60 days. Okay. Because you're in a group. In my Discord servers, you're with a group of other guys, and they're like, okay, so you live in LA. Okay, let me put you in the LA group. The LA group is like, okay, this is where you're going to go. This is where we go to get haircuts. This is the gym we go to. This is how we set up these events.
So you creating brotherhood in each.
Yes. As iron sharpens iron. That's exactly right. Yeah. And then sometimes we can't, right? I have I have a client that's in Singapore, right? I have another client that's in Nice, France. And like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's a little bit different. I have the easiest place would be Los Angeles, New York. I got maybe 14 clients in New York. And then London. I have a ton of clients in London, but I don't have a ton of clients. I have maybe 4 clients in Paris.
Do you have any clients in Vegas?
Yeah, I have probably 14 clients in Vegas.
Wow,
like
being the home hub, you figure it'd be more. I know someone that might need your assistance. I've been talking to this guy. He's been living in Vegas for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Swears to me you can't find a woman in Vegas. Here I am, stumbling into this fantastic interview with a man that happens to bring 90 women to places. That's crazy.
That's not what I said.
I wasn't even putting you on the spot. I was going to keep it anonymous.
Bro, yeah, you gave me a little head nod like, yeah, this guy over here.
Really?
That's not what I said.
I just had like a pain in my neck. No, but honestly, this guy thinks he can't find a woman here. He hasn't found a woman in Vegas. He says it's not possible.
It's difficult. Like the thing for me is like,
Are you single?
Yeah.
By design, though. It's because I can tell.
Yeah.
You got tired.
During the bikini competition, I was basically like whoever I was seeing, I was like, I need you to understand, I'm hosting the biggest bikini competition in the world. If you're not okay with this, get off the ride.
And
now.
they'll say yes at first. Yes. I guarantee a few of them said yes.
And then after I was like, listen, let me tell you one more time. I'm hosting the biggest bikini competition in the world for 130,000. There are 270 girls in this competition. If you are not going to be comfortable with this, get off the ride now. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be mad at you. No problem at all. And they're like, okay, cool. And then that's generally what happens. For me, like, it's not. I'm not a relationship coach, right? I'm a networking coach. I want you to have the most options that you can have, right? Mm-hmm. Give Jalen Brunson. You guys know who plays for the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
So Jalen Brunson has a decision to make. Do I go play for the Mavericks or do I go play for the Knicks, right? Well, one of the decisions is more money, and the other decision is this the right fit? My whole point is Jalen Brunson is good enough to have those options. He gets to choose where he gets to get his $20 million a year. Do you understand what I'm saying? As men, that's what I want for you. For you to have the choice. I want to date 15 girls at once. I want to date one, whatever. But you get those options, and that's the thing I want for you. Right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is like I always want more for you. I always want to figure out like how can we 10x your business. And then I have a saying: if I can bench press 300 pounds, that means I can bench press 200 pounds. Right? So if I can get you, if you try to throw a charity event and you're like trying to get a bunch of real estate agents, if I can get you to throw a charity event with a bunch of playmates, real estate agents are 100 times easier to get than playmates. You see what I'm saying? So now whatever skill set you've learned, now you can take that and focus on whatever it is, whatever event it is that you want to do. And there's just a myriad of ways that this is helpful. And these are just lessons that I've learned from, the hundreds of books and being a military officer and all the stuff that I've learned here in Las Vegas and running 3 businesses and all that kind of stuff and working in finance. We also actually do have a pillar on finance because I worked at the hedge fund and I go over exactly how I got the job at the hedge fund. But like stuff like that, man, I just feel like there's so much to learn. And then I'm still learning because my podcast, I have Greg O'Gallagher coming on, Kino Body. He's the intermittent fasting guy. I had Jay Cutler on. He was talking about, you know, his weight training, right? I had Dan Bilzerian on. You'd be surprised, man. Dan has a lot of great tidbits. It's like, so here's
he's got some amazing stories.
Imagine this, right? So I'm like a scientist, right? I studied astrophysics in college. So just think about it from a standpoint of like the scientific method. I want to have a belief. And so my belief might be about women, or my belief might be about money or whatever. And then my job as a scientist is to disprove my belief, not to look for evidence to support my belief, but to try to disprove it. So my hypothesis was this: if you have a bunch of women in your life, is there a point where you have too many women in your life to where women are like not attracted to you anymore? That was my hypothesis. Is that the case? And then from reading Dan's book and hanging out with Dan, the answer is no. I don't care what women tell you. The answer is no. Like that's one thing. The pre-selection does not break. It keeps going up and up and up. You look at Justin Timberlake. Look at George Clooney. You look at guys like that. It's like there's no point where it's like, yeah, I wouldn't sleep with those guys because too many women like them. It's almost like saying I'm not attracted to Elon Musk. A woman saying I'm not attracted to Elon Musk anymore because he's too rich. That doesn't exist. There's no too rich limit. You understand what I'm saying? And then there's no too attractive. There's too many women limit. And the thing is like. So here's the thing.
Maybe a woman would say you're too in that life.
Here's the thing. No, that's a different thing. The two in that life, of course, you're not ready to settle down. That's a legitimate thing. But here's the issue. What'll happen frequently is I'll have clients that'll do this. They'll hit me up and be like, Michael, Ben, I started throwing these events, and now I'm like, I've gone on dates with like 6, 7 girls, and this girl that I used to date, she comes up to me. She goes, I don't like the person you are now. You're with too many girls. And I really wish you would change. Michael, like, it really hurt me. And I was like, just out of curiosity, what happened right after she said that? I was like, oh, well, we slept together. I was like, yeah, that's my point. She's saying this, like, a lot of times they'll say, like, you're gaining too much control. A lot of times, one of the problems, like a dangerous thing for women is a man who understands his value, right? And so, by the way, same thing for women. You guys ever see like super young girls that are dudes that are losers because they don't know, they don't understand how hot they are, they don't understand the value that they have. Well, it's the same thing with men. A lot of times men don't understand their value, so they let women walk all over them. When you completely understand your value, a lot of times a girl who like is used to walking all over you, she's like, wait, I don't like who you become. I feel like you become a douchebag. You're a little fake. I'm like, I'm not a douchebag. I raise money for fucking animals. I'm not a douchebag at all. It's just the first time anyone's ever told you no. And so now you're not used to this. And so they're confusing the complaints for like actual complaints. No, what's happened is you spark so much attraction that it's to the point where they're like actually complaining. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what's happening. Like, and I tell, I'm about to get into some deep shit for this one, but I tell my guy friends this all the time. The reason why women say just be yourself is so they can tell who the losers are quicker. That's why. Like, honestly, it's not about be yourself. It's like be the highest status version of yourself that you can be. Like, be yourself. Well, if be yourself is eat ho-hos and never go to the gym, don't fucking be yourself. If be yourself is never get off your mom's couch, don't be yourself. It's like every one of, especially here in Vegas, like, you guys have the ability to start a 7-figure business if you want. There's all of you. Like, I know people, like, you guys are probably definitely monetizing off this podcast. You know how many people are out like day laboring? Like, you know what I'm saying? Sweating and toiling. You're like monetizing off a podcast, or like I have an online coaching program that's infinitely scalable. There's all these ways to make money. Be myself. If I was going to be myself, I would be scared. Right? I'd be sitting there like, I don't want to take any chances. A lot of people, when they say be yourself, who yourself is fluid. You like, bravery is better than being a coward. Telling the truth. Some people, when they're like be themselves, they're fucking liars. They're passive aggressive liars. I don't know if that's who you are when you be yourself. Fuck that. Don't be yourself. You should change for the better. You should be the best version of yourself you can be. And that's why whenever I hear people like, oh, you know, just be yourself. Yeah, that's how she can tell you're a loser and your friend is not. That's how, when you all be yourself. That's why I'm always telling guys like, no, man, you need to work on, and that's another thing is, as men, like, we're going to be judged on our status no matter what we do. It's like we are the ones who are going to go downstairs with a shotgun when somebody breaks in the house, and that's not a mark on women. Women are incredible. Women are just as great as men.
Jamie Villamore hear you.
No, yeah, Jamie Villamore will grab the shotgun. Jamie Villamore will grab the shotgun. She'll grab that little Armor Tech knife.
Right.
Jamie Villamore will have.
She gonna have the Tomb Raider gun stuck to her thigh and shit.
Jamie pulls a switchblade on me every time I interview her. It's really funny. I'm going to. She's coming to the party with me tonight. So it's just one of these situations where it's like, as men, we have to understand we're never going to be special. You guys ever hear your mom and she's like, oh that girl, she cheated on you because she didn't deserve you. She didn't deserve you. She's on that's right, buddy. She's on that fucking boat in Biscayne right now because she didn't deserve you. That's what happened. Yeah, her life sucks right now because she didn't deserve you. No, that's not what happened, bro. But here's the thing. Take this as honest criticism. You guys don't have to be rich to get girls, and you don't have to be super yoked to get girls. But ask yourself, are you so poor that you don't have any money, and then you're just like, any girl is like, yeah, I don't want to date you because you're that poor. That doesn't make her a fucking gold digger. She's just looking for some level of security and self-sufficiency from you. That doesn't make her weird because she wants that, right? Or a woman who wants monogamy, and you're like I don't blame women who want monogamy who don't want to date me. I tell them beforehand, I'm like, it's clear that you want traditional monogamy. Just be my friend. I will help you with your podcast. I'll help you. I'll introduce you to huge photographers. I'll get you into every party. I'll take you to every charity event. You and I need to be friends, though, because this is not going to work. You want traditional monogamy, and I'm not here at this point in my life ready to provide that for you. And you'd be shocked how many girls will hear that and still want to.
No, they want you more.
They still want to go out with me because I've never had a man be that fucking honest with me before about this, and I was like, oh, good. Just as long as you understand that's essentially how this is going to be. So for me, it's like. For me, so just think about it from my standpoint. Whereas some guys are chasing, and my lifestyle is like, well, I've got these two businesses. I'm like, oh, you can't. Dude, I had this girl stand me up one time, and as soon as she did, I was just this wave of relief. I was like, bro, I'm gonna get to finish my TikTok. I got to finish my reels. I got to finish editing my podcast. You know what I'm saying? I got to do a CTA, call to action, and make money. I'm going to make money tonight. That's all I was thinking is I'm going to make money tonight, man. I'm going to work on my business. And then oh man, I didn't do bench, chest and tries yesterday. So I'm going to go do that today. She was so replaceable when she didn't want to go out with me. She was so replaceable in my life with productivity for me to make money and build a business that I didn't even it wasn't even a negative. Then I go out that night and it's me on stage at Zook or me on stage at XS, and I get a message the next day. It's just like, oh fuck, I wish I'd come out with you, or I'm so sorry, or she's so fucking jealous because at no point. Again, I don't mean this is gonna sound really arrogant, but there's no girl I go out with where she's like, oh, I'm the best he can do. No woman ever feels that way because there's always. It's not that she's not a great woman. It's that. I want to make $1 million. I want to make $1 million a month with my business. That's the best I can do, not you. And it's no offense to you. If you want to come along for this ride and work with me, let's make that happen. If you don't want to do that and your whole job is to get me to sit at home and watch Netflix and eat junk food with you, I'm not interested in that. I need to be in bed by a certain time. It's the other girls, man. The girls that drag you to after hours and then the after hours after the after hours. And I'm like, I haven't eaten in 8 hours. I'm starving. I want to go to sleep. I got a business to run. No, you can, you go back to the streets where you belong. I'm not going to sit here and wait for you. It's just stuff like that. These realizations that you come to as a man. And it's just not just because she's beautiful, right? You guys understand, Jamie Villamore would walk into any room and 90% of the dudes, they confront all they want, would probably fucking marry her, right? She's so beautiful. They would probably, if they had any chance of dating her, they would do it in 2 seconds, right? And Jamie knows that too. She's an FHM cover model, right? A lot of guys, that physical attractiveness is enough to just drive them into doing just stupid things. Well, think about what I said before about the abundance, about having a bunch of female friends. Well, I bring 90 girls to a party. Do you think I'm that affected by any one girl? Of course not. Right. And so that's the other thing. When I see my homegirls, I'm like, hey, what's up, motherfucker? Let's go hoop. Let's go lift. Let's go do whatever. Right. And they're not used to somebody talking to them like that. But I talk to them like people that were in my troop or in my squadron. I talk to them like people I played high school football with. I don't treat them any differently.
So you go play ball with some of the girls?
I play ball with girls all the time. I take them to there's a basketball court in Panorama Towers, and I'll take girls there, and I'm like, let's make a TikTok, and they're like, what are you? I'm gonna teach you how to shoot free throws, because you can teach a girl how to shoot if you really know how to shoot free throws. And I'll sit there and we'll make a TikTok, and she's just throwing the shit over the backboard, and then by the end, she hits 7, 8, 9 in a row. That's good content for her, you know. So yeah, I'll go play basketball with girls or go lift with girls or whatever. you know, that's just a thing that I've learned from like having so much exposure to being around so many beautiful women. You just don't let them affect you that much. And then there's a power in that whenever you meet one and they're like, oh man, I didn't expect that. I expected him to hit on me. I expected him to say some cheesy line. I expected him. The other thing is like when they reject you, they expect you to get mad. And I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm like I'll text them later. I'm like, hey, listen, we're raising money for this animal rescue. Would you like to come? And they'll be like, yes or no or whatever. But I'm never mad. I'm just too busy. I'm too busy building this business or doing this other thing to worry about, I got a new podcast. Dude, I got 5 interviews I'm doing next week. I'm too busy with that to even worry. But it's like there's not even any bitterness. It's not like fuck you ho. I'm too busy. It's like I'm just like literally. I totally forgot we were even supposed to go out on Tuesday. I've done that before where like a girl stood me up and I wrote her be like, hey, I totally forgot about our date last night. I completely apologize. I was so fucking busy. And then she'll see my IG story and it's like me on stage at some nightclub and she's like, oh fuck, he stood me up. And I didn't even realize it. He stood me up, and I didn't even realize what was going on. So like that's the life that I was. So I just spent like an hour trying to explain to you what MOA is. What do you get? That's what you get, right? A lifestyle of abundance. Rule number 3 in the Men of Action program is the abundance is almost always the answer. If you have a heroin addiction, abundance is not the answer. Other than that, abundance is the answer, right? Hey, Michael, I want to get my ex-girlfriend back. Get in the gym and date more women. Hey, Michael, I want to get rid of my ex-girlfriend. Get in the gym and date more women. Hey, Michael, I want to get better going on dates. Get in the gym and date more women. Hey, Michael, I want to look better for my social media profile. Get in the gym and date more. The answer is always the same. The answer is always abundance, right? It's like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Michael, I want more lateral movement to where I can travel. Then let's get a job to make more money. Hey, Michael, I want to be able to invest more and learn like more about. Okay, let's make more money. Hey, Michael, I want to learn to have some financial security so I can raise a family. Hey, then let's make more money. The answer is always going to be let's make more money. The answer is always going to be date more, make more money, get in the gym more. The answer is always more and better. So when you use that as rule number 3, then it's almost then when you get the question of, hey, man, I went on the date with this girl and I'm not sure if I fucked up, man, because we talked about this and this, and then she put her hand on my knee and then she didn't come home with me, and I'm like, I'm too busy. I go right back to what I said to you guys. I'm too busy to worry about whether or not that went wrong. And here's the thing, maybe it did go wrong. And then the next week she sees you at this like fucking major event and she's writing you like, hey, I miss you. Where have you been? I'm like, you would the people from like back home in Dallas and like, hey, miss you. Haven't talked to you in a while. I'm like, you didn't talk to me when I was in Dallas, motherfucker. Like you didn't know me even back then. So it's just one of these things where it's like, just keep moving. You're going faster. Everything's better. And one of the ways to show that without bragging is through social media, which is why I think, especially for men, it's so important that they have a social media that shows access to scarce resources, not necessarily you with a bunch of women, not necessarily you with a nice car, although those things can help. What I want you to show is access to travel, access to scarce resources, the fact that you're in shape, all those kind of things are things that you should be showing on social media. And when you do that, when a girl meets you, the first thing I don't care what you guys think, when a girl meets you, the first thing she's doing is looking for your Instagram. I don't care if she meets you on Tinder. I don't care if she meets you at church. I don't care if she meets you at work. She's looking at your IG first thing, always, always, always first thing. And second thing, then she's sending your IG to her homegirls to find out if any of them slept with you and then to find out if you're a piece of trash. That's the second thing she's doing. And the third thing she's doing is sending your IG to me. That's what's happening. Like, to ask my opinion. Like that's what's happening. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, guys, you have to have your Instagram set up properly, because if you don't, it's like, imagine you were going to a personal injury attorney and you show up because you just got hit in a car accident and you show up there and there's no rug. The walls are missing. There's no couch to sit on. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? What's wrong with this place? Mm-hmm. If you guys ever go to Demopoulos Law Firm, Steve Demopoulos, he's a buddy of mine. You go to his law firm, bro, everything is like marble. Everything is pristine. And when you leave, they give you a duffel bag full of swag. Even if you just come for one meeting. And it's got hats. It's got Golden Knights gear in it. Like, it is so professional. You're like, this guy right here is the killer. This guy right here is going to get me that's what you feel like, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be an example of a social media or an Instagram that's fleshed out perfectly. But if you didn't have that, it would look like you don't have walls. You don't have a couch. You just look like you're unprofessional. Does that make sense? And I said before, like, if you play point guard for the Lakers, or if you won an Academy Award, or if you have $1 billion, forget everything I said. You don't need anything I said. For the rest of us men, you're going to have to do what I say. Or also, you're 6'5" and just unbelievably good looking. You fuck everything I said. Don't even listen to anything I said. For the rest of us, you're gonna have to like show some level of value. And it's not even like that women are shallow. It's just look at all the competition. They're constantly being inundated with, especially here in Las Vegas. It's the next Lambo that pulls up and the next Ferrari that pulls up. Like you're so overwhelmed with value that if you don't show anything, like you're not to
no. In the world of social media too, like someone can hit on your girl from across the country.
All my life, sitting on the bed, girl I'm dating. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. I look at her phone and it's Champagne Poppy messaging her. Drake.
Damn.
I look down, I look at her, and I'm like, and now, to be fair,
I'd have took it as a compliment.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a compliment. I'm fucking somebody that Drake want.
To be fair, it's probably Drake's handler or whatever that's on his IG. Okay, to be fair, she's stunning. And I look at her and I'm like, if you're gonna leave me, just do it. Like I'm not gonna. If you left me for Drake, I'm not gonna be mad. Just don't lie to me about it. Just tell me if you want to do it. And she's like, I don't want to. And then we had sex afterwards. But the point is like, hitting on your girl from across the country, hell yes, bro. You want to know what else is bad? A shout out to Claudia Fajal. She's been on my podcast. And my homegirl, Shauna Lee. And then who's the other homegirl. These girls are like, they're into women. They're women that are into women. Bro, you have no shot. If Claudia Fajal comes after your girl, you have, and I tell her, I'm like, listen, I like this one, please stop. She's so fine. Like she'll come up and start talking to girls like that will go talk to other girls. I always tell my homegirls, I'm like, please, like it was like the reason why I'm friends with you guys is so you don't try to take my girl all the time because they're so good at it, man. It's just crazy. Man. But I would rather, here's the other thing, I would rather know than not know, right? I would rather know than not know. I would rather a girl be like, I'm not attracted to you because of this. Well, how I know that? I have a bunch of female friends. I would rather have somebody just straight up tell me, hey, this is not going to work because they don't take you seriously. Or like, I'm trying to get a job for the NBA team that's moving here. I want to be the in-stadium announcer. If they come at me and they're like, hey, Michael, we really don't want you because your voice or your social media profile or whatever, just tell me the truth. I would just always rather know the truth. That's what that book, Evolutionary Psychology by Dr. David West, that book is about the truth. That book is about like where we actually came from and why women like men who can acquire resources and men like women who have symmetry, signs of youth, and show signs of health. That's the reason where that comes from. And as shallow as it may seem, it's still the truth. I'd still rather know the truth. Should we all judge each other by the content of our character? Fuck yes, we should. Do we? No. Some girl walks by and she's fine, and you just notice her more. Right? You have a choice between two real estate agents. One of them has straight teeth and drives in a Bentley. You're just going to notice him more. That's just the world we live in. It doesn't matter how fair you want things to be. That's just the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? And when some girl comes and does my bikini competition and she doesn't win, she doesn't place, and I'm like, and she's mad at me. I'm like, I don't go to the Los Angeles Lakers and say, hey, how come I can play small forward? I'm like, I'm not 6'8". I can't play small forward. I don't sue the Los Angeles Lakers for discrimination because I can't play small forward. I'm not good enough to play small forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. So because of that, you know, if I do a bikini competition or if we have like you've seen how competitive it is for girls to get hired here at the pools. Girls make $240,000 a year working at the pools 4 days a week here, and they're all flawless. You're like, oh, well, it's a competition. Some things in life are hard, and some of us are not able to do certain things. I could have never been an F-15 pilot. I weigh too much. I vomit all the fucking time. There's no, there was an option for me to go to pilot school and then try out for fighters. And I was like, there's no way. I just can't do it. I just know physiologically it's not possible for me to do it. And when I see David Goggins running those 100-mile marathons, I don't have the lower body to do that. My body would break down. Just some people can do certain things and some people can't. That doesn't mean it's fair or life is unfair, and I'm okay with that's rule number 4, by the way. Life is unfair and I'm okay with that. Life is unfair and I'm okay with that. So that's just another thing. I would rather know the truth.
I have a question.
Definitely would rather know the truth.
You said that you don't drink. Are you for the men that are in your program, are you opposed to them?
I don't encourage them to drink.
Not just drink, just
indulge in anything.
Yeah.
I don't mind if they do, but I do point out, like, so for instance, are there benefits to marijuana? Like, here's the thing. If the question is, should marijuana be legal? Let's make the question this. Should marijuana and alcohol be legal? And the answer is, if alcohol is legal, then marijuana should be legal. And if marijuana is illegal, then alcohol should be illegal because alcohol is worse. That's, to me, that sounds logical to me. I don't have a problem with that. Are there certain benefits that you can get from marijuana? 100%. These things have been proven. They're scientifically proven. Are there certain psychological disadvantages that happen. Sometimes you'll have people have from psychedelics. Yes, that can happen also. Same thing with alcohol. The point I try to make is like with the drinking, I'm like, guys, drink if you want. That's your own choice. Do whatever you want. But my question is like, alcohol, a lot of people don't realize is like yeast is like it's a multi-cell organism, and it shits like every other multi-cell organism, and the things that shits out is called methanol, and that's what you're drinking. You're drinking the waste byproduct of yeast, and it's fucking up your brain through hypoxia. That's actually what's happening. Probably no one's ever told you that before, but that's what happens when you drink alcohol and get drunk. To me, I just don't want to do that. Do whatever you want, but that to me, I don't want to do that. Does that make sense? And I give everybody a choice. That's it. And so with the marijuana thing, it's like if you're having serious trouble with anxiety and you want to smoke marijuana, I don't have a problem with it. That's fine. You can get a medical dispensation for it, whatever. The thing is, there have been studies that show you'll smoke marijuana and it does hurt your functioning over a certain period of time. Just as long as you understand both sides of it, I'd rather know the truth, then I'm totally fine with that. And when it comes to cocaine or anabolic steroids is another big one too. People need to, know the truth. Or HRT. People taking HRT, the testosterone replacement therapy. Understand the pros and the cons. Make whatever decision you want. I have most of those things, I don't even know why they're illegal. Like, I understand why, like, heroin and cocaine are illegal. I get it. But, like, some of the, like, marijuana should have never been illegal. That doesn't make any sense to me. So,
they just had to find a way to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And,
For sure. It's interesting because what's happened now is it's actually better for illegal growers because we're not prosecuting illegal growers, and the legal growers are selling their product for so much that people are turning back to illegal growers, and they've got carte blanche to, like, what you're going to have to see is states like really cracking down on illegal growers, and you're not seeing that right now. So that everything's gone back to the illegal side. So it's kind of interesting how that whole thing is working out. But yeah, no, I don't encourage my guys to do any of that. I do encourage all my guys to get their testosterone levels checked because there's it's interesting. Just bringing it back to boxing. When you guys look at Tyson Fury, right, and realize he's the heavyweight champion of the world, and then you look at Mike Tyson and realize he was the heavyweight champion of the world, and you look at their midsection, right? They're just their build. Remember, these guys are in the same weight class, both heavyweight champion of the world. You look at Mike Tyson, you see six-pack abs. This guy, like nothing, just a fucking powerhouse, one-shot nuclear bomb, either hand, either way could knock somebody out. And then you look at Tyson Fury, and he's just got this inner tube of fat around his waist. All right, or what's it? Anthony Ruiz, is that his name?
Yeah,
right.
Andy
Ruiz.
Yeah.
Like in those situations, and you come to the realization that like those guys that selling you the six-pack short cups online, a lot of this is genetic. A lot of it is like there's no way I work out as hard as Tyson Fury. There's no way. He's a heavyweight champion of the world. I promise you, he does more cardio than me. He eats better than me. He lifts more than me. I promise you, he is everything he does better than me. But yet, my stomach looks better than his. What is that? Well, it's genetics. A lot of it's genetics. So I tell guys that a lot of times it's like sometimes your genetics will fail you. And those guys that are on those you see those guys on the Facebook with the fucking incredible physiques, and they've got like veins on their neck that look like garden hoses. I'm like, you know what I'm like they're like, they're on oral fucking Winstrol, and they're taking Anavar, and they're taking Trenbolone, right? Which is fine if they want to do it, just don't lie about it, right? Or there's other guys that are like they just genetically have like I don't know if you guys have heard this. Deontay Wilder, his natural free testosterone was 1,100 picograms per deciliter. So like the normal range is somewhere between, like if you're in your 40s, maybe 300 or 400, and when you're 19, it's maybe 800 or 900. He's at 1,100 normal. Like guys take steroids
at 36.
Guys take steroids to be at 1,100, and he's at 1,100 naturally. So you guys understand. Look at Deontay Wilder's physique, and
he's genetically ripped up.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'7", and he never got up to 245 like a Klitschko or a Tyson. Always 235, 226, or even lower.
Yeah, it's madness. So you understand the genetic portion. So that's why I have no problem with people getting on TRT, because you have to understand that if you get to a point, like I remember I woke up, I was 38, and everything hurt. Everything just hurt. Hip hurt, back hurt, everything hurt. And then I got on HRT, and all of a sudden, like it was this crazy thing where it was like when I was in my 40s, gut kept getting bigger and arms could not get bigger. Or if arms got bigger, gut got bigger. And if gut got smaller, then arms got smaller. I could never get both of them. I could never get arms bigger and gut smaller at the same time, no matter what the diet was. Then I got on test, bro, and then waist got smaller, arms got bigger. And then I was like, oh, this is how it was when I was 19. It's like, oh yeah, that's all they did was put your testosterone levels back to when I was 19. So for me, like that's another thing. Like,
but how long does it last?
Test? Oh, it's you take it for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's just a replacement for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's probably like $200 a month or something like that, and you take it. But there's 12 million men, I think, on TRT now in the United States. You ask when John Orlando, ask him about it. You know, he's on it. I'm on it. There's a bunch of guys that are on it. When you're like in your mid 40s, like a lot of guys will get on it. Bradley, who came on my podcast, he's on it. Like a lot of these guys will talk openly about it. Vegas Dave's on it. Obviously, Bulzarian's on it. And it's just one of these things where you do it and like you can assist the genetics. I don't think that's cheating. I think looking good and feeling good is important, right? And so I think all those things are really important. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just a really interesting situation. But yeah, I remember being shamed when I was in my 30s because I didn't have a 6-pack abs like these guys, and then later on finding out that like half these dudes were just like.
So did the test help with your 6-pack or not?
Huh?
Did the test help with your 6-pack or not?
It's incredible. It's night and day. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, it's like
so you have the 6-pack though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to eat crazy because my uncle had it. You know, he had to always watch what he's eating.
So I'm experimenting with intermittent fasting. Have you guys heard of that? So
yeah, I've done it.
I definitely do it. I wake up at 4:30. I don't eat till about 10.
Yeah. How is it like? So I'm trying this. Have you noticed a difference from the intermittent fasting?
I mean, I've talked to so many people. I feel like it's just a way to kind of hold off on your calories so that you can pig out.
Yeah, it feels like if the science is basically expressing that in the first 5 or 6 hours after you wake up, your body goes into fat burning mode because you don't have any calories. And then afterwards, your insulin spikes that happen from eating are compressed to an 8-hour period. And then afterwards, you go back to the fat burning mode. If that's the theory, then I can see how that might work. I don't think we're all going to look like the guys I see on YouTube, but I think I could see it working. I've been able to get it down to 9 or 10 hours. 8 hours is just, God, eating all my calories in 8 hours has just been really hard.
I used to do it in 4.
Yeah?
I used to do it in 4.
4 hour intermittent
4
fasting.
hours,
Yeah.
yes.
Did you notice a big difference?
A huge difference, but I was doing that when I went raw vegan for a few months.
Yeah.
And so obviously that diet alone, I'm sure had a lot to do with it. But my supervisor is one of those guys that you speak of that motherfuckers just chiseled. And he puts the work in and and he was like, bro, like, go without, like go a day without.
Yeah.
So then I actually would go a 42-hour span with just water.
Yeah, I've heard about these.
And
why?
I'm gonna tell you, bro, it'll clean you out. Like I would actually go to the bathroom. I'm still shitting because it's getting, I guess, all your toxins, everything that is still in your body, and it's getting rid of it. It's cleansing you out.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like finding reasonable eating habits and then going to the gym on a reasonable pace, like 4 days a week or whatever. I think that's the step one. And then from there, if you want to go hardcore keno or hardcore keto or hardcore high intensity training or hardcore cardio or whatever, then you can do that. I just know too many guys in really good shape who don't do any cardio. So I don't know if that's the main thing you got to do. I see a ton of them. And then I know a bunch of guys who are in really good shape who eat whatever they want. And then I know a bunch of guys who are in really good shape who starve themselves. So like it just depends. Each
I think it's an individual thing, like you said, genetics. So many things play a part in it. And I feel like because for me, the intermittent fast, I think I just maintain. If I'm not working out, I'm just maintaining a certain amount of pounds on my body. Other than that, physically, I'm still looking like shit. You know what I mean? You need to get in the gym to tone up.
You can be in fantastic. Again, let's go back to Andy Ruiz and Tyson Fury. Like they kind of had dad bods and they're still in fantastic. They whip the shit out of me. Like there's no way in a long distance run Tyson Fury could not be able to run more than
and it's funny because both men, just happen to become heavyweight champions against chiseled men.
Yes.
Like Klitschko and Wilder for Fury and then Joshua for Ruiz. And, obviously the physique isn't there.
Yeah.
But the skills.
Well, the skills are, but obviously the cardio is there too. And the muscularity is there and the hand-eye coordination is there and the training is there. So you would figure if they're creating a deficit, all that fat would just go away, but it's not. That goes back to what we said before about genetics.
So how long have you been doing MOA?
We started in right before the pandemic, so it would have been December 19, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Have you had any physical meetups yet?
Yeah, all the time. So the guys here, we have them. So I'll give you an example. We're doing,
but individual states, not like
Yes.
The first ever meetup for MOA.
We had a casual one last week or 2 weeks ago in New York. I went there and I met up with 12 of my clients there. Generally, what we'll do is there's a couple of big ones. On July 18th, we're doing an ESPYs party for the MLB All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles on the 18th and the 19th. The 19th is the ESPYs party. The 18th is the MLB game. All my clients are invited to come to that. And so they meet me there. So we have a little meetup. They generally will throw a photo shoot the day before and the day after my events with all the girls that they meet from those events. So that's generally what will happen as far as that meetup. And then every year, the third week.
So what is going on at these meetups?
It's not that a meetup. It's just like you're going to a charity gala.
Oh, okay.
And we're all in suits and we
Gotcha.
just meet up and we take photos together.
Gotcha,
and we talk and hang
just
out.
hang out. Gotcha.
just hang
I
out.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's always, but that's what I mean. So you don't do like
A meeting?
a mixer.
Yeah.
Some Passover hors d'oeuvres, some alcohol. Maybe you're obviously the speaker.
Yeah.
You have a guest speaker,
Yeah.
and you're bringing all these people together.
Yeah, sometimes we'll do that. So we did one in Miami where we did like a photo shoot weekend, and then it was like a party, it was Super Bowl weekend, and then at the end, that Sunday night, all the guys came over and we just got in the living room and I just went over theory with them, and a lot of it was evolutionary psychology stuff. So yeah, occasionally I'll do that. The big one though is every September this year, September 18th to the 24th. It's like 200 models and 60 photographers are going to Jamaica, Negril, Jamaica, for Paradise Challenge. So I'm the host of Paradise Challenge, and then my clients come out to that as well. About a third of my clients are photographers or they're videographers. They're in that space and they're trying to because if you're good at social media, growing a photography page, those kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, they come out there.
What are those dates?
September 18th to the 24th.
No, I was just asking because
Your birthday's the 16th.
Yeah, my birthday's the 16th, and then the 18th is that Sunday, so it's like no fight.
Yeah.
No, Saturday's the fight with Canelo
I
and
know,
Triple G.
right? So, which is the 17th, but the 18th is that Sunday. You know,
dude,
maybe
if you want
get
to come
away
out
for
to
a couple
Jamaica,
days.
dude, it's amazing.
I've never been on a vacation.
Yeah, never
25
been.
years old. I mean, I've been out of town. Like I've been to Miami for work.
Yeah.
I've been to New York for work, but it's always for work. You know,
But he definitely enjoys himself.
Yeah,
Don't have him tell you anything.
No, absolutely. I make the most of it. And, you know, thankfully, because of the military, I've known a lot of women who just happen to get out and get into that nightlife industry. So I know bottle girls and strippers in Dallas that were former military. Like everywhere I go, I know girls that literally were in the military, got out, and are now in the nightlife.
That's pretty sad, though, no?
What?
That you went to the military seeking security and you only came out to be a stripper or a bottle girl? Like, that's pretty depressing.
It depends on where. Like, if you're a bottle girl at Wet Republic, that's not sad. Those girls make so much money.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I was just in Dallas for the Earl fight. I know a girl. She was actually kicked out for smoking weed, and it was funny because she was with the commander's daughter. But that's a totally different story. She's kicked out for smoking weed, bro. She is a bottle girl at night, tattoos during the day, and she's driving a car similar in price to yours. So she's doing good. She's doing good.
I'm not saying that you're not, but then it's like, why did you ever go to the force or the military or anything?
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
If you're just gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you just spent 7 years or 4 years.
But see, that's been, you know, I feel that that's because people are just too fucking nosy, right? Like, I'm sure there's people that may follow your page that you've either worked under or worked with, and they're like, look at this guy just fucking with these hot women and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, people actually had a problem that I do this. People could just care too much. Or they care about shit that's not their business. Like, I feel that I think a lot of these women come out and realize, yo, big misconception in the military that you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You as a captain.
I mean, I was at 03 on flight status, and I didn't even make. I mean, it's like probably most I took home was 74,000, something like that.
You know, so you got to do a lot of time, a lot. Yo, I realize that what you said. I grew up cutting grass. I didn't want to slave. So for some people, maybe for me, the military was me getting out of Chicago because I saw that.
Yeah.
Yo,
they force you. You're forced to do these things where you got to be at work on time. You have to follow order. Like, man, it's like
not just that for not just that for me. It was just I need to get out. Like, I tell them I to this day I got friends that are still being killed because they haven't left Chicago. It's just shit that happens. For me, that was my way out. That wasn't my ultimate, out. That wasn't what I ultimately wanted.
But think about
life.
it. Imagine you leave Chicago only to go back to Chicago to be on the same block. That's all I'm saying. For the girl,
for sure.
For the girl that got out to come back and be a stripper or a bodyguard.
No,
but we can move on. I mean, I didn't want mean it to be personal in case your stripper body girlfriend.
Oh no! I'm just saying.
No shots fired.
I don't think it's like that because for me it's like I would compare it to me getting out the military to be a fucking promoter. But if I'm being a promoter and I'm bringing in 4 or 5 times a year what I was making in the military, then it is what it is.
One of the things though is like when you join the military, you're going down the straight and narrow path, right? So no matter, you guys are making money as podcasters. You understand that is offensive to some people. Like, what do you mean you don't have to go to a job?
Oh yeah,
like that's problematic. There are 1, 2, 3, I think 4 modules in my program specifically dealing with haters. Now that's not how I say it, but I do talk about like you're gonna grow, and these people that you used to mess with, like I'm like, hey, some guy named John. I'm like, John. Like nobody woke up this morning and was like, man, sure hope John gets his dick sucked today. Sure hope that John made $4 million today. Like nobody woke up and said that. Like, maybe your mom, okay, but nobody fucking cares. Like nobody woke up to like hope for your incredible success. Exactly. And then when they go on social media and then they're like, dude, could you imagine before you did this, the fact that you could make a living as a podcaster sitting like doing this, like how incredible, what an opportunity that would be. Now think of all the people who aren't doing that. Or the people who are like, I know more about boxing than them, and like they didn't start their podcast. Or the guy who you have a cousin who comes home for Thanksgiving and he's made $1 million off cryptocurrency. And the guy's a burnout, has no idea about shit, but he bought Bitcoin at $5 and he's got $1 million that he made from creating. You're just like, what? Like I could have done that. And so what you do, you become hateful. That's essentially what people happen. What happens to people, and you have to learn from that. There's one of the reasons why I'm friends with some of my guy friends that are very successful that own like nightlife groups, or I have a buddy of mine who owns he's a CEO of a publicly traded company, is because these guys never get jealous of me. That's why I love hanging out with them. Like no matter what I do, dude, if I was like, man, I'm making $1 million a month, they'd be like, good job, bro. Like come on the yacht. Like I don't give a fuck. Like they're nothing. It's gonna impress them. And the same thing with the girls. They're like nothing's gonna impress them. And I love being around guys like that because they're never jealous of me. Like that's a really great thing to happen. So that's the group I want to hang out with. And the group I was hanging out with before, it's like they're like, hey man, how come you don't have any kids? And I'm like, when
you gonna settle down?
When are you gonna settle down and have kids? I'm like, well,
why do you go out every night?
I'm gonna settle down at some point, but then it's like they're offended that I don't have kids. Like, whoa, chill out. You're offended that I don't have kids? No, I just don't feel like having kids right now. I was like, no, you didn't take out the second mortgage. Where are your kids? Where's your debt? You know what I'm saying? Where's your home base? Where's your house far away from all the other women? The one that you got way out in the suburbs. Where's that house with the picket fence? The picket fence to keep all the other women out. Where's that house? Where's that huge dog that always has some medical issue that you have to come rushing home to take care of our dog really quick before we even have a kid? Where are those things? Michael, how come you don't have those responsibilities? And I'm like, no, man, I rescue cats. That's actually one of my hobbies. I have 3 cats. I just
in your house.
Yeah, I rescue cats. Yeah.
Fuck, Mike, what you doing?
I've had 9 actually. Yeah, I love cats.
Wow. In your house, you have 9.
I've had 9. Yeah, over the course of 25 years, cats only live.
I thought you meant at once.
Yeah, I thought you meant at once too. Nice. You had 9 at one point. And I'm like, why?
No, I've rescued 9. Right.
Okay.
So no, but over the course, cats live around 15 years. So I have a friend of mine. She's also coming to the party with me tonight. She had 13 at one point. 13 cats. Every cat she saw, she wanted to rescue them. And there's a group of girls that come over to my place just to drink tequila and play with my cats. That's the only reason why they want to come over. But the point is, like, that's what I want to do. My life is very minimalist. I wear black t-shirts and the same chucks I was wearing back when I was in fucking high school. All of this is the same. None of this is going to change. I'm still going to go to if I had $10 billion, I'd still be living in Panorama Towers. Like, none of this would change. I live a very sparse existence.
I mean, that's not a bad place to live at all.
Yeah,
at all.
Pano's got a great gym. Yeah, but yeah, it's a nice place. But like the thing is, like, that's my existence is that I have no debt. And to some people, they think I'm an idiot because I have no debt. I'm like, I don't think I'm an idiot. I think I'm doing okay. Not having any debt, especially now with interest rates going up. I think I'm fine. So it just depends. But here's the thing, right? It's the whole situation. And
Wait. You consider a mortgage debt?
It is debt. There's nothing wrong with having a mortgage if that's what you. But here's the thing, right? Why did you get the mortgage? If you got the mortgage because you wanted to buy a house as an investment, it's so that you could live in it and then not have to pay when you sell it, not have to pay the taxes on it. That's a great idea. If you bought a house because you wanted a wife and kids, you wanted to live with that wife and kids, that's a great idea. If you took on debt because your family convinced you to move out of the fucking high rise so that you could get a house out in the country, or the worst is like the guy. I have clients that do this all the time. They'll be like, look here, Michael, all the space I got out here in the country. Look at this. Look at all these acres I got. I was like, oh, cool. Where's the nearest like place with women? It's like, it's about an hour on in town, going by there by the feed store. And I'm like, I need the feed store. I need your help with your program. I was like, dude, you bought a fucking farm in the country. Yes, could you imagine taking a girl back to your farm in the middle of the night, like leaving a club? You understand what I'm saying? Like how she would be like, this is it. My
She'd
life
be creeped out.
My life is over. I'm gonna die. Like
hold
I'm
on.
gonna have to be.
Hold on. I'm gonna have a rebuttal. I'm gonna have a great rebuttal to you.
Okay.
Greg, one of Floyd Mayweather's security guards, he has a ranch out here.
Yeah, but he's also one of Floyd Mayweather's security guards.
But he has a ranch.
Yeah.
On the outskirts of town. So
yeah, right. But he probably has a place near town, or Floyd will have like some multi-palatial, place.
Yeah,
that, it's just
true.
logistically, it's just such a bad.
No, I hear you. No, obviously, I'm giving you a unique example.
But like, if you're gonna do those things,
for sure,
do them for you. Again, remember what I said before about options.
I mean, for me, I just don't like paying someone else's mortgage. I'd rather pay my own mortgage.
Sense. So for me, I just buy the condo that you're living in. But yeah, the whole situation is like it's not the problem of having debt. It's the issue of getting into debt because someone is forcing you. If it's a good financial move, then do it. We have in MOA. We have two ways you spend your money. You spend your money to make your life easier. Or you spend your money to make more money. Those are the only ways I spend money. I'm like buying a Lambo. Like I have a ton of friends that are coaches and they all have Lamborghinis. Buying a Lambo, does that make your life easier? It does not make your life easier. Buying a Lambo, does that make your life more fun? You could make that point. Are there women that are going to specifically come into your life because you have a Lamborghini? Yes. Do you want to make a wife out of one of those women? Absolutely not. Right? So then you have decisions to make. Like your life got more complicated on this thing that is going to depreciate massively in value. So probably not going to buy the Lamborghini, right? I'll probably buy a Tesla or something with like high resale value. Would I buy a nice house that I can buy, I can resell? Yes. So that's going to make me money and it's going to make my life easier. Would I buy a place that's really close to where I work? That's a great idea. I just love living 30 seconds away from where I work. I always love that. My gym in Panorama, it's like right underneath.
That's kind of hard to do here in Vegas, right? Because it's like living close to work kind of brings you to the city.
Yeah, okay, so that might be hard, but I also think that these guys who do the double shifts, who like work at Omnia at night and then go work at Wet Republic the next day, bro. If I were one of them, I'd try to live at Veer Towers. I'd try to live like as close as I could, just because that drive would kill you after a while.
Veer Towers.
The only bad thing about the Veer is no balconies.
Yeah, there's no balconies. I'm not a huge fan of the gym there, but I
haven't been to the gym there.
I love the
pool.
The pool's incredible. Dude, the best place in the world to watch fireworks in the world is on top of Veer Towers. 100%.
Really?
Yeah. For New Year's, go on top of Veer Towers for New Year's, and you're like, it's like being in Iraq in 2003. Like you are being shelled. Like these things are exploding all around you, and you're up at 500 feet. So you're like, they're blowing up. Like you're in the fireworks. It's fantastic. Best place I've ever seen fireworks.
I can imagine it being pretty packed in the Veer though on that day like.
No, yeah, but I mean, that pool is wide. Like you can still see. Like it's not that difficult to do it. But only residents are allowed to go up there. So a friend of mine has a residency.
Friend of ours.
But back to what I was saying before. Everything I do is like I'm going to spend is it better for me to put my money here, or is it better to put my money in the S&P 500 where I'm getting 5, 6, 7% return per year? What is the better thing for me to spend my money on? For me, it's always, is this thing making my life easier? So a virtual assistant would be something that might make my life easier. I hired someone to start doing some of my social media posts for me. That makes my life easier. And I hired someone to I have a partner. He's doing my funnel, my sales funnel for MOA. That makes my life easier. That's a good place for me to send my money. But for the Gucci belt, I'm like, what is the Gucci belt doing like to make my life easier? You know what I'm saying? Like
it doesn't attract the woman easier?
I mean, I don't know if this is the woman I want. So there's a great book I recommend both of you guys read. It's called The Millionaire Next Door, and it goes over the difference between wealth and high income. High income is kind of like a hip hop video. Wealth is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett drives a 10-year-old used car. Warren Buffett is worth $270 billion or something like that. He's been living in the same house since 1961, something like that. He's put on a new wing. He spends no money on shit. He makes all of his money, like he doesn't pay anything in income taxes because he makes all of his money off of investments. Just incredible, like monumental levels of wealth, more wealth than like third world countries, the entire GDP. And where does he get that from? He gets that from wealth is about offense and defense. Offense is making money. Defense is how much do you spend. And if you just really concentrate on the part about how much do you spend, they talk about this. So 80% of millionaires in the United States are first generation, like meaning they didn't inherit their millionaires or their money from their parents. And one of the most common things that cause them to become millionaires, or these people to get in the $5, $6, $7, $10 million net worth, is when the wife was stingier than the husband. It was a very common thing where the wife was like budgeting. One of the ways where these people became very unwealthy very quickly is the wife spending a ton of money or divorce ensuing and him losing half of his wealth. Those things would cost him from becoming extremely wealthy. So who you marry has so much to do with whether or not you actually get, I'm talking about generational great-grandchildren can go to Harvard level wealth. That's the type of wealth that I would be interested in having. And having that wealth, I don't know that the Gucci belt is necessarily going to get me, well, it's definitely not going to get me that wealth. But like the other thing is like, is it making my life easier? That's those just the questions that I ask. I don't have any judgment for people who want to spend money. I know
I've never bought Gucci belt,
right,
or shoes, or Prada, or none of that shit. But I can see a person like yourself that's consistently out benefiting from a designer.
Yeah, I mean, it could help. For me, I think what benefits more is being able to talk loud in a nightclub and being able to relate to people and having people recognize your face over and over again. That's the other thing. When I went out the 60 days, I got to the point where nobody was even checking my ID anymore. I would go to the VIP of the club. They would just walk me right in. And then I would just like grab 5 or 6 girls from the crowd. They'd walk in with me. And it was just, after a while, it just gets easier and easier. To me, I'm more impressed with that, like the social networking of it, the social engineering of it, rather than just trying to use designer in order to, to make that work.
So what do you drive?
Lexus IS 250. I'm going to get a Tesla. I think that's probably the next one I'm going to get.
Cybertruck?
Huh?
The Cybertruck?
I don't know about the Cybertruck. I'm not getting a brand new one. Dude, when you look at depreciation values of any car, it's just crazy to buy them new.
But there's no car you like for you?
Yeah, I like them for me, but it's just the problem is like the car is there to make my life easier. Right?
Okay, but if you own a car, if you bought it, if you're the one owner, 5-6 years that car is still working. Like you said, Warren Buffett has a 10-year-old car.
Yeah.
So I don't get the people that say it depreciates. You're going to get your money out that motherfucker by driving it.
Sure.
It's the other guy that wants to have his car and doesn't touch it. And he's like, 2 miles. Oh, my car's got 200 miles. I bought it in 1920. It's like, now you're going to sell it. You saved it for someone else.
Yeah.
You didn't enjoy it. You didn't drive it.
Yeah, I mean, my whole point is that like if you can get a factory warranty, and I know that your audience probably doesn't want to talk about this, but like you get a factory warranty on a used car and it's depreciated like 40% of its value. You're getting more dollars per mile when you buy it than when the person before you buy it. The other thing is the most common car that millionaires drive. You guys know what it is? It's a Ford F-150. That is by far the most common. Most millionaires have never even paid $500 for a suit. When you actually find out most millionaires are like those really uptight people that live on your block that mow their own lawn every week, and you find out those people are worth like $7-8 million. That's what this book is about. It's crazy how many of these people like don't show any wealth whatsoever, and then how many people are making good money, $300,000-$400,000 a year. They're not even worth liquid $2 million, and they own a Lambo. Like that's also the other side of the coin. So that's the whole thing. I try to teach guys like the difference between high income and wealth. High income is like, you remember that Phoenix Suns team that could just score with Steve Nash? All they could do is score, couldn't play a lick of defense. That's what high income is. Like that Laker team that went 15-1, you know what I'm saying, that was Shaq and Kobe. That's wealth. That's good offense and good defense. No, but you have no chance against them. That's the way I look at it personally. And to me, I don't know, man. Like 7 figures in your bank account looks better than a Gucci belt to me. That's my opinion. That's the way I look at it. So different people can look at it different ways. But for me, the other thing is I love when I meet social media influencers that use their lifestyle. So they go and they travel and do all this crazy stuff, but they're getting paid for it. Their entire lifestyle pays for itself. It's a cash flow positive trip to Tulum. A cash flow positive trip to Tulum is the coolest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I love that idea.
Yep.
The party at the house that the house you're paying for the house and you're getting a tax write-off for it because it's also your place of business, and like you're doing all these things in order to, like, I love stuff like that. To me, it's not about being cheap, it's about creating generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? So that later on, like, I know a lot of people, they're just like, sometimes you'll date a woman and she like literally looks at a wealthy man and she's like, there's just a pile of cash behind him and I just need to get to that pile of cash. And when he runs out of money, she doesn't even understand. She's like, wait, no, there's just more money. Just keep giving me money. Just buy the next bag or whatever. Like, I have a very difficult time. You know, I'm friends with Vegas Dave, but the $60,000 Himalaya Birkin bag, and women just go nuts for it. And I'm just like, yeah, but what did that do for you? Like, you're a beautiful woman. Did you need that bag to get laid? Like, I'm so confused why you need a $60,000 bag.
For them, it's status, right?
I mean, but like, what?
Not everyone has a $60,000 bag.
I totally agree with you, but like long term, man, if I had a broker so I could flip those bags, 100%, that makes sense to me.
I think it's all
no, it's that book
temporary.
No, it's that book behind you. It's evolutionary psychology. It's these women trying to show
she's
status.
gonna get seen. She's gonna get seen by a specific man.
Yeah.
That does notice that $60,000 bag and get her into a different social status and level.
I think that's pretty rare. That's the reason why they get the Birkin. I think they get the Birkin to stunt on their friends.
On their own friends.
Yeah, I think they get. I think they get the Birkin and they get the 600cc gummy bear boob job for $20,000 and the BBL, and they get the lipo and they get the lip injection so that they can stunt on their friends and the guys who wouldn't date them when they were in high school.
Whoa! What about? You said that you're okay. What is it? TRT?
Yeah.
That you're okay taking it because you're okay looking good.
I'm fine with a girl looking good. That's fine. And guys, please understand, I'm not saying don't buy a bag. I'm saying for me personally, with my two rules, which is, does this make my life easier and does this make me money?
I'm with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I've never bought a bag.
Yeah.
I know you have, and you're young. I've never bought a bag.
Nah, I mean,
I don't buy bags. I don't even buy.
So
really.
Again, like, think about what Vegas Dave did, right? He bought those $400,000 Birkins and he put them in front of him and he got sideline seats at the Laker game, and everyone was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Sitting next to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd sitting next to Rihanna. Rihanna's like having conversations with him. That was genius. Those $400,000 bags made him tens of millions of dollars. I am 100% in favor of that. If you are buying this bag because you're trying to make a social media persona that's going to make you money, I give you 2 thumbs up for that. That's the point I'm trying to make. For me, for my personal decision matrix, did this make me money or is this making my life easier? Those are the only things I'm going to spend money on.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. He bought, when did you get the C8? Couple months, like maybe February, March of this year, he bought his Corvette.
But I bought it for me.
Yeah.
Little did I know, because I never planned on living in Vegas. This is all brand new for me. You know, I just got here 3 months ago. So, you know, I was living this fake early retirement. Like my job is a podcast, so it's not really work. I do 3 hours a day. So I was buying the vet like all Florida dudes do. And end up being here, but socially, it's
definitely
become a better tool for what I do here.
Yeah,
you know, home it was just in my driveway. Here, every fighter that we bring in, it's a car that they want or they notice it. You know, it gives more value to the podcast. So. Yeah, that's why I'm defending the woman with the Birkin or whatever. I don't even know the name of it, but because it does, like, my
level of credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, Devin Haney is like he's the champion of the world, and you know I see his car. I'm like, I'm gonna get this car, and then he sees me really get it, and all of a sudden, conversation is different now.
Yeah,
so,
but it's also like, think if he was trying to start a coaching program or whatever to teach you how to get that car. Now that really makes sense to me. I'm like, this is genius. This is the reason why you see guys like Brad Lee. He's got a new, I believe he got a new Ferrari, and then Ryan Stewman, hardcore closer. He got another Porsche, and then Blazarian. Well, Dan's not selling a program, but like some of these other guys who sell a program, they'll show the car and they'll be like, "This is where I'm at. Do you want to get here? Come take my program."
No, of course,
100%. I'm in favor of that. There's no problem with that.
There's a guy.
What's that guy?
There's a guy. I was
Lopez on YouTube.
Ty Lopez.
He was killing it with the ads. Did they stop ads on YouTube or something? Because I don't see him anymore.
Yeah, so he's made too much money. Like, he made hundreds of millions off that. So he was on my podcast. It's got, I think we're at 240,000 views on that episode. He comes on and he is explaining. He's like, I made this thing where I hold my camera, my phone up, and it's like, here I am in my garage. This is my Lamborghini. It's fun to drive. I'm here in the Hollywood Hills, but you know what you need instead of this Lamborghini? You need these books and you need all this knowledge, right? And he sold a course. He goes, if you want to learn more about how to make money like this, then just check out these 3 steps. I got these 3 steps on how to make money. Don't be a pessimist. I memorized it because it was the most popular. It was the most successful YouTube ad in history.
Bro, it's crazy that it's gone.
71. No, it's still up. 71 million views. You can find it on
I guess the algorithm doesn't hit.
No, he
no
doesn't
more.
pay. He doesn't pay for traffic anymore. That's why you don't see it. So then he you see the thing and you click on it. It goes to a 90-minute VSL, video sales letter. Then I had another guy named Nick Cosman. He came on my podcast and he explains this. This is how guys make these scalable, like 7-8 figure businesses. Is they have a video sales letter, which basically takes you through an extremely congruent argument on video where you explain why you need this product. But here's the other thing. If you made it through a 90-minute sales letter, you're going to buy the product. You went through a 90-minute sales letter. If somebody listens to my episodes are 3 hours long. If somebody listens to my whole episode, they're going to subscribe. They're going to subscribe, right? They're not going to leave mean comments if they listen to 3 hours of my podcast. So by that time, once you get to the guys that listen to the whole 90-minute thing, then he would have these incredible closure rates, and it was 60,000 a day and 100,000 a day, and then he's making like 500,000 a day at some point, like crazy numbers. Then he comes up with a product for crypto, and he shows these 2 pizzas, and he's like, these 2 pizzas were bought for 100,000 Bitcoin back in 08, 07, something like that. Some guy named Laszlo. He goes, these 2 pizzas worth $170 million right now. He goes, Laszlo missed out. Do you want to miss out on this? You want to miss out? Click on this little button, and then I'll show you 3 things, and you can learn about my course. He probably made $150 million off that course. That's what he did using the YouTube advertisement. But he probably put $20 million worth of advertisement budget on YouTube. And back then, nobody knew to advertise on YouTube. Nobody thought of YouTube as being a place to advertise. Now everyone does it. My CPM right now for my ads on YouTube for MOA, way more expensive than whatever he was paying back in 2008. It's not even close. So that's another issue that you have to deal with. But just massive amounts of marketability and scalability because you understand a sales funnel, a sales letter, how to do those ads like you talk about. And then with my Lamborghini are the girls that you saw on my IG. So for me, it's the girls because I'm not going to.
You found a way to have no overhead.
Correct.
Even though I'm sure that here and there you have to pay something to bring them or, you know.
Usually for me, I'll take my friends out to dinner or something like that. But yes, for the most part, not much. But then for me, it was the girls, right? So the girls bring them in and then it was like, because when you join my course, there's 26 books I make you read. They're mandatory. Everyone has to read these 26
26?
26 books, yeah. I tell you, bro, it takes a year to get through the course. But like your life is changed in the first 60 days. I show videos. I forgot to tell you. If you go to MOA Mentoring right now, you will find MOAmentoring.com. You will find 50 testimonials. And there's only 50 because we didn't have time to put up the other 150. Everyone wants to write a testimonial for us because the things that happen to them are so life-changing. So that's what another thing I did. I learned from Russell Brunson and Nick Cosman. It was the testimonials that you add in there to show the irrefutable visual evidence of how successful you are, and then your business becomes scalable at that point, right? And now what I do is you start seeing. Just think about having a job. Like even as a podcaster, right? You guys are like, if I work 5 times harder, I'm not going to make 5 times as much money. But if you work 5 times as harder at this with a sales funnel, you will make 5 times as much money. So it motivates you every day to work. And then some girl stands you up. You're like, who fucking cares? Like I am so busy, like 7-figuring, 10xing my life. Why would I care at all that happened? You see what I'm saying? And then she, hey, thank you so much, brother. Then she notices that. And then that's when everything sort of changes for you. And then like, it's one of these situations where it's like you didn't just become attractive to Sarah. Like it all happens for all of them at once. You're attracted to all of them at the same time. And it's just mind-blowing when some of my clients see it happen for them because for the first time in their life, they go up and talk to some strange girl and the girl looks at their IG and they're like, hey, I'm not the best he can do. I'm not going to stand this guy up. I'm not the best he can do. And that is just night and day, just a magnificent difference for a lot of people. And then they have the thing I said before, options. My job is to give you options. If you guys want to be Buddhist or Christian, if you guys believe in creation or the Big Bang, I don't care. That's not my job to fix that for you. It's not my job to change what you believe politically. It's not none of those things. That's not what, my only job is to give you options. More money versus less, the ability to date more women versus fewer, the higher quality, whatever you want, to get a better job instead of a worse job. The other thing is I work with my guys. I had one of my clients get hired at JP Morgan recently, and I went through his job interview, and we go through it, and it's very similar techniques with that. So can you get Do you sound competent in a job interview? Do you sound competent on a podcast? Do you want to start some of my clients want to start podcasts. It's those kind of things. Let's just get good at it. It's like when you guys ever play Madden, right? There's the speed, acceleration. There's all these different sliders. Can you get them all up to 99? And if you can't get them up to 99, can you at least get them up to 80? You see what I'm saying? Some of us are not going to get up. Some of us are not going to look like Deontay Wilder. Can we get this up to 80? Can we get this up to 82? But let's not have any of them in the 50s. Let's not have like bad breath. Let's not like deliberately have, something wrong with us where we can fix it. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's the way I look at it, because while we should all judge each other on the content of our character and our creed, the reality of the situation is we're hairless murder apes, and we don't. We judge each other on our status. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of your testimony has guys in Lamborghinis with their doors up. Just saying. Your own site is promoting the Lamborghini.
Listen, I'm saying for me,
all his testimonials, they're like in front of fucking Lamborghinis.
Okay. So a lot of my clients are wealthier than I am. That's all I'll say. Like a lot of my clients will come to me and they'll do that. But yeah, they happen to have a few Lambos in the closet.
Look, my man's on a yacht. Of course you 10X, my man. You bought a fucking yacht. You know what I'm saying? Your social circle changes. You know what I'm saying?
I was joking with my friends. I was like, the next version is like how to pick up girls with only using $100 million. I was going to make that my next program. I was like, nah, let's not do that. No, but some of my clients are just dead broke, man, live in their mom's basement. And I'm like, let's worry. They're like asking me questions about girls. I'm like,
wait,
no.
How much is the course? You can't be dead broke living in mom's basement buying the Sartain course. How much is this?
So you're right. Like they make sacrifices. And my course is pretty expensive. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not expensive compared to other people who do what I do. So like for instance, Tony Robbins, this is not expensive compared to like the 1995 thing that you buy from the store. The master's courses that they teach. Those are like $90 or something like that. It's a lot more expensive than that. But it just depends on which version you buy. And you can also live with me. I do 1 month at a time living coaching.
Holy shit!
Like in the same house.
Yeah, I let them come live with me. Yeah, there's a review process, but listen, if you're gonna go,
that'd be dope.
if you're gonna go through the 26 books and finish the course, I trust you enough to come live with me. In fact,
come live with
the men I trust most in the world right now are probably the dudes who work in this studio and my clients. Like seriously,
shout out George,
like George and Travis and John. These are probably the men I trust most in the world. My clients and the guys who work in the studio, honestly, because the other guys are like they look at you for what you can do for them. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't even mind that sometimes, right? But what I do mind is that you're honest about your intentions, right? And that's why I told you guys before, if you're honest with a woman about your intentions, or if a woman's honest with you about her intentions, that's way better. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I try to promote with these guys. There's a lot of military stuff, and I know it doesn't look like it with all the girls, but there's a lot of military stuff in there also.
All the cars. I mean, all these guys, I might have to sign up. I need a better looking car, obviously.
Damn.
Fucking Porsches.
Better looking than a C8.
Brother.
You just got the new wheels put on today.
Did you see this? Did you see this?
I'm going through it now.
Okay. Here's a regular guy with a Camaro.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah, but there's one guy.
But it's a convertible.
There is one guy in there with a $60 million jet. Did you see that one?
I didn't see the jet.
There's two F-18 pilots in my program.
Oh, in the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even look at the picture of the jet.
There's also a Ivy League instructor who will not. I can't put a testimonial on there because he's an Ivy League instructor. He's going to get canceled, so he's not going to. He won't write a testimonial. I have a couple of instructors. I have 4 MDs that are in my course right now. Is there 4? It might be more than 4. Doctors that are in there, but yeah, we try to help all different kinds. You know.
Where could one find not only the program but the podcast?
The easiest place to find everything would just be to go to my Instagram, Michael Sartain, and it'll take you to my LinkedIn. Or you can just look up the podcast, Michael Sartain Podcast. Everything on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is going to be at Michael Sartain. On TikTok, it's Michael Sartain Podcast. So that should be easy to find. And yeah, man, this is the other thing. I don't know if you guys, I don't know how you promote your boxing voice. Reels. Have you guys used Reels?
Mm-hmm,
You've been using Reels. You guys seen how Action Junkies have been just cranking out those Reels?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, on Story, I might get 2,200 views. On Reels, 100,000 views.
Yeah, no, our Reels and Shorts have been doing great.
Yeah, Story story, you'll get, or like on a photo, like let's just say you get 1,000 likes on a photo. On a reel, you might get 7,000-8,000 likes, 10,000 likes.
Yeah, they're pushing the hell out of it.
Yes.
All platforms too. YouTube is pushing their shorts to compete with TikTok and IG's reels and. Yep.
So I used to tell people like organic growth and Instagram is dead. It's not dead anymore. If you found a way to crank out 4 reels a day, you'd be growing so fast because Instagram is really rewarding that type of content right now. So that's another thing I teach my guys. It's like we kind of switch up the game and like I try to get them more towards reels now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, I've been trying to get my guy. I got a guy that posts for me, and I'm like, I need you to post all 3 reels, and it's like every day I might see 1 or. Maybe I get lucky and see 2. It's insane.
Here, look, I'll give you something that I started doing. So at the end of my podcast, I go and I timestamp my own podcast, and I put 3 asterisks next to the one I think are going to be reels or TikToks, and I send that to the editor, and he can crank them out fast, so I can get them out 2 a day really fast like that. And then I told you I have 900 hours in the course, so they have to go through and they have to timestamp those 2 and pull spots out for my stuff. And then the bikini competition, those I make reels out of the clips from the bikini competition. Which, by the way, what are you guys doing Friday?
Going to your bikini competition.
You guys want to come? You want to be judges?
What time?
Can you be judge 1:30?
Oh wait, we got a concert Friday.
No, that's at night though. That's why I asked what time.
1:30 p.m.
Bro, he wants to do multiple things that day, huh?
Why not, motherfucker?
Oh, you're gonna be.
We got haircut appointment.
Yeah, before that's at 11 a.m. and I'm only getting a
1:30. You said?
Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
The whole studio's like, yes.
1:30 p.m.
I'm over here trying to be on time.
Let him say the fucking time
for our other engagement.
Bro, let him say the time. 1:30 p.m.
1:30 p.m. at Wet Republic. If you've never been to Wet, get there early because it's hard to find it unless you park at Topgolf. Come there early. Just say you're part of the bikini competition. I'll just.
That's at MGM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
I'll make you guys judges if you come at 1:30 on Friday. Well, I don't have enough judges. It's 15,
we'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
15 weeks
Look,
long.
we'll be there.
No. We'll be there. Not because of the bikinis, but if I could be a judge, if I could be a judge, and they're consistently saying this judge is from the Boxing Voice, that's worth something.
Yeah, for sure.
And the network, definitely might get some of those beautiful ladies to be a guest on the show like you.
That is not a problem. Anytime you guys want a guest to come on the show, just let me know.
So this Monday, our Monday shows are like this, out of niche topic.
So
to grow the brand.
Now that we've been here in Vegas, it's been totally different. But recently, we just had like Lil Eazy on. We've had
a Brandon from Las Vegas, who's a very popular
TikToker and just on
real estate agent.
Yes, he's huge on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. So, for me, even though I've been living here, obviously in the military, very few people I associated myself with. Most have now PCS'd or are currently deployed. So it's like this is like my one and only friend.
Right.
Because literally the ones I did have PCS'd.
Yeah.
Are deployed or whatever the case may be. So it's like I tell them, I'm like, I don't really know where to go out. Anytime I go out, it'll be with fighters or things like that.
I see no Latin women on. He's talking about going out. There's no Latin.
Yeah, I mean,
circle.
Look at the. Do you see the last bikini competition I did? If you go look at my highlights, there's one. It just literally says there's a bikini competition. We have a lot of Latin women that do it. The girl who got second last week, she's Colombian.
Well, I meant more of the soirees.
Or just in general.
Yeah, like.
I mean, I see it. It just depends where it would do. When Maluma played the other night at Zouk, it wasn't nothing but Latin women. I was joking. I was going up to these Hispanic women and be like, who is this performing? I don't even know who this is. And they were freaking out. They were like, what do you mean
it's actually, well, I honestly don't know where it's at because they're what's the pool club at Resorts World?
IU.
Okay, so they're promoting it through that, but it says like Resorts World Event Center. So I don't know if it's gonna, but then I looked at the map and it said to get dropped off at the pool. So I'm like, is it at the event center or is it at the pool?
For which one?
The Friday night we're going to Anuel.
Is he at Zouk? Is he performing at Zouk?
No, I can pull up.
There might be an event center. I don't know. I just know about the
I know they've done boxing there, but I don't think the event center's done because the boxing has been. They'll promote it as the event center, but it's a fucking big ass pop up tent, like a big white pop up tent. So I'm not sure, but like I said, the drop off. I haven't been to either. He's been to Zouk, right? You've been to Zouk.
Yeah.
I've never been to either Zouk or the pool party. So
yeah.
said it's pronounced IU?
IU, yeah. But yeah, if you guys come to Wet, man,
we'll be there.
It's a blast. I will. I'll get you guys. You're gonna have a clipboard. You're gonna score the whole thing. I'll introduce you to all the girls. Have a good time. You can stay to the end. We're going till 4 p.m. That's when we announce the winners. And that thing is.
Is it outdoors?
Yeah, it's outdoors. It is pretty hot. Like
So you're wearing shorts?
I'm tore up. Yeah. Well, guys, if you come to Wet, anybody who's listening to this, all of you are invited. If you come to Wet Republic, you have to wear swim trunks. No jean shorts, no basketball. I usually wear basketball shorts. I can't wear basketball shorts there. I have to.
No, I got plenty of swim trunks.
Yeah, you just gotta wear swim trunks out there. But yeah, that's a great thing. But here's the thing, right? So I do that competition, and then all these other jobs open up for me, like because of that competition,
Absolutely.
right? And again, so I recruit for that competition. So you're asking before. Now, not when I do get paid, but like now, I would not be a ring announcer if it wasn't for me doing that, right? Because by the way, ring announcing is interesting. You guys know who Frank Trigg is, right? You remember the MMA guy,
Yeah.
Frank Trigg? So Frank Trigg was the ref for the first fight I ever announced. And he's talking to me through it because the announcing part was easy because I listened to 4 or 5 hours of other ring announcers beforehand before I did it. And then he's like telling me where to stand. So like, for instance, when I'm reading the decision, I need to be behind the two guys. I need to be behind the ref so that he can, pick it up and they can see me behind him. Also, hand underneath the ref's shoulder or armpit,
yeah.
so he can talk. And then I'm back in here, and then that kind of stuff, like just little stuff. The announcing was easy because when I do a bikini competition, that's 50 girls I have to announce, and each one of them is like from Cincinnati. Like that one's easy. It was when I do the boxing, it's like a lot less, but it's really interesting, and it's like something hopefully I can do a lot more in the future. Yeah, but that was that's a really interesting thing. But yeah, Frank Trigg helped me a lot, man. He told me where to stand and do all this kind of stuff.
Didn't you say you were doing PFL as well?
What is that one?
Oh, I guess not. Who did we have in here? I thought you told us you were doing ring announcing for PFL.
No, I'm doing it for Smash Global.
Okay.
Yeah, Smash Global right now. Yeah.
All right.
And then there's another kickboxing league that I'm probably going to start with here pretty soon. But yeah, you guys had Mark Chinook on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mark does Top Rank.
Yep.
And he's another guy I listen to, right? It's not all just screaming and yelling. Like sometimes it is with Bruce Buffer. He just gets his louder and louder and louder until the end of the announcement. I do something a little bit different than that, but yeah, there's an art. There's definitely an art to that.
Absolutely.
There's a huge art to that, and like just seeing the way that whole thing works, that's like more entertaining sometimes than the fight, right? So that's to be a part of that is pretty awesome.
For sure, man.
Yep.
You're living a very interesting life, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Can you give out any social media, anywhere you want to direct our audience?
Just go to Michael Sartain on Instagram. Everything should be there. Anything you guys are looking for. Anybody who's considering joining the program or interested in it, just go to moamentoring.com. A couple other things, man. If you guys are interested, we're doing a charity event on July 18th in Los Angeles at Academy. It's for the MLB All-Star Game, and it's a sports scholarship. The next night, we're doing an ESPYs party on the 19th. We're doing a Babes in Toyland. But anytime I say Babes in Toyland, that is a charity event. We pick a charity, and it's all Maxim and Playboy models that show up. We're doing one September 8th in Nashville, but the big one we're going to be doing is October 6th at Zook in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So that's going to be here, and we're probably going to do it for the Foster Friday Foundation, which is for homeless animals. We have one in December we're going to do for a homeless charity also. And then, so if you guys are interested in coming to any of these charity events, you don't forget about, if you don't want to join my program, just come out and help us raise money for these different charity events. And oh yes, there'll be 100 Playboy models there. That's also pretty fun thing to go to as well if you guys are interested in that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's been this week's episode. We're going to go ahead and wrap up, take this picture with Michael Sartain, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Peace.
Later.